pumping crazy mother named Ice Cube. From the gang called Fellers with Attitudes. When I'm called off, I got a soda. Squeeze the trigger and bodies are hauled off. You too, boy, if you're with me. The police are gonna have to come and get me off your ass. That's how I'm going out. For the punk mother, it's going out.
Hello, Darren. Hello, Rob. How are you, boys?
Hey, guys.
And welcome to another. Look at this, a global one. I don't think YouTube could be as far away. Shabby's just sat there going, who can I get from the other sides of the earth?
Yes,
I know, Darren and Rob. How are you, boys?
Good. Yeah, good. Thank you.
Oh, awesome. So, welcome to Top 5. Let's just catch up with the chat. See who's here. Our Des is here. G-Force is here. Q is here. Kieran's here. Wow, there's loads of people already. It's been filling up. Our Keith's here. Hi, Keith. Mrs. T, have you seen this, Robin, Darren? Mrs. T's got her own.
I love it. I saw that the other day.
She's famous like you, Darren. She's famous like your fame's took over Mrs. T like it has you, Darren. Do you know what I mean?
I pity the fool. The icon picture she's got.
And Psychos, you can tell it's Mrs. T. Look, she's got a picture of our Des on her.
They just spent a bit too long on the sunbed there.
Oh, brilliant. It's going good, Des. Unfortunately, our truck was delayed and I have to take the day off and go to work tomorrow noon for unloading. That's what Q's been doing this week.
Unloading trucks.
Hi, Martin. Martin's. All the lads have turned out for you two. Now they've turned up. Hit the like button, please. Let me ask you both a question. You both don't have YouTube channels, but you're both mega famous in our community. So how's fame hit you?
Yeah, I'm just a parasite. I just go and sort of
parasite. Just jumping on the pictures.
Yeah. That's what I said to Sarah the other day when I appeared on one of them. I was like, that's it now. I can die happy. I've made it into one of Si's pictures.
But do you like doing this? Do you like coming on streams and getting to know the chat and doing all this sort of stuff?
Yeah, it's really good fun.
Do you like it? Do you, Rob? Yeah. Do you like it, Rob?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I miss it whenever I have to go long periods of time and I'm not on there. Kind of feel like, oh man, I haven't been around. But yeah, speaking of fame, if you have 3 kids and a wife, they can bring you down pretty quick if you ever think you're getting a little too big.
Yeah. You can't talk to me like that. I've got 50 fans. So
I got 6 likes on my Instagram post.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Let's have a look. Now they've turned up. We're only 30 seconds over. What do you mean, Des? Look, I tell you what.
That was me, Des. I've just been sending photos to Shabby and it's lastminute.com.
I asked you to come on, I don't know, a month ago. You decided 3 minutes before we go on. Shabby, can I have something? Yeah. Send them. So
Well, I was thinking it's easier than trying to lift them up and.
Yeah,
I suppose you're right. Some people on it have shown some, you know what I mean, some huge stuff. It's like I remember Palps being on. He had all those massive photos in frames, pictures in frames. Imagine him just coming on with them. So yeah, I can imagine.
Or you'd have to be my little forehead sticking over the top.
Hit that like button, you muppets. Si, good old size here. I wish I could grow a beard. Yeah, that beard's getting big, Rob. That is.
Yeah, I have to keep it trimmed. I wish I could grow it. I'd go like this if I could.
Yeah. Well, because I'm so white, I look like the dad from Teen Wolf. If I grow my beard, or look like Kenny Rogers. And we made that video years ago when I grew it all out, and I look like I know I like.
So
Christmas,
what's the problem, though? I don't see what the problem is.
No, I don't, but I like it. Yeah, Darren, you're getting a bit there as well. You're coming.
Yeah, see, mine goes all. Once it gets to long-ish. It takes ages for mine to grow.
Yeah.
And once it goes sort of quite wispy and a bit messy, so I tend to keep it quite short. Just enough to sort of hide the chin a little bit,
Yeah, I know that feeling. Yeah, I need
to bring his back.
Yeah. Even in all these early so what's happened, Rob, is I put it all, I've thumbnailed it all, and all of a sudden I had this feeling, hang on a minute, what time is it in England? Apparently their clocks have gone back. So it's only 7 o'clock in England now.
Oh, look at that.
So I thought, well, I can't start it at 4, whatever, because I've already arranged it. So that's why I messaged you two and said 7 o'clock for you, Darren, 2 o'clock for you, Rob. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
When do you change that? Next weekend?
10 days, I think, or something. In it, Rob. But me and Rob, like I say, because Rob's in Texas, so we're on different time zones too. Do you see what I mean? So
have you got 2 hours between you?
There's an hour between me and Rob. An hour, yeah. The Central Time you're on. Yeah, it's Rob Central, I'm Eastern.
When I drive to Joe Fest, that hour changes.
Tell him how long it takes you to drive to Joe Fest.
It's about a 16-hour drive there this year. A little faster coming back.
That sums up England or the UK and America, and it's the same in Australia, isn't it? There was we judge things in miles, and everywhere else in the world judges it by days. How many days? How far is it? Oh, it's not far. It's about a day and a half.
Rob wrote one of the best lines ever. Right, so we're getting ready to go to Joe Fest, and Rob, he goes, "I've just cracked a beer, got some Hank Williams Jr. on, and I'm burning rubber." And I went, "You can't get more Texan than that, can you?" That was the coolest comment ever. Do you know what I mean? It's so brilliant.
People don't realize how big Texas is. I remember when in my early 20s, I have a cousin that lives in Illinois, and a bunch of his friends came down for college. They were going to go to Padre, which is on the coast of Texas, for spring break. He said they hit the Texas-Oklahoma border and started cracking beers, but they didn't realize they had 14 hours still to go.
That's brilliant. Have you been to America, Darren? Have you been over here?
Yes. Yeah, I've done. In the 90s, my dad lived in Minnesota, just south of Minneapolis, for about 5 years.
Yeah.
So I was out every holiday. And then when I finished uni, I worked for him, and I did 1 week in the States, 3 weeks in the UK for about 2 years.
Okay. Yeah. Do you like it over here?
I loved it.
Yeah.
But it was 95 to 98, peak Power of the Force, Toys R Us.
Oh yeah.
It was just fantastic. The special editions came out.
Yeah.
And they obviously that's back in the day when they came out earlier in the States than they did in the UK.
Yeah.
Obviously now everything's released, like all the cinemas it's global on the same day. But back then it was it was fantastic to be able to sort of fly and spend the time. And I got to go to San Diego. Loved San Diego.
Yeah.
Been to Chicago a couple of times.
There you go.
Been to Florida, Boston a couple of times.
Yeah. It's hit me though. It's funny because I've always been a city boy, always. Do you know what I mean? And even Rob's actually this country lifestyle for sure. I went to a corn maze this weekend, and there's haystack rides there and shooting the pumpkins. I loved it. All this country western music. I was like,
Minnesota.
I saw you had your Carhartt. You had your Carhartt.
On, do you know what I mean? I had my Wrangler jeans on. Yeah, I love it. I've taken to it really, man. So Kieran Ball says, question. Go on, Darren. What?
No, I was just going to say, I love the fact you can drive. I mean, I did when we were in Minnesota. We drove to the Black Hills, which is about a day and a half.
Yeah.
So we did Mount Rushmore, which was okay, but it's a lot smaller than you think it is.
Rob, look at Darren Rob slagging off America, but you was all right.
You've seen more of America than I have.
It's a bit small. It's just I remember the Superman movie, and you think this thing's huge, and it's not. But I then dragged everybody to Devil's Tower.
Oh yeah.
Which is about obviously it's different. It's right in the corner of the state, so that's amazing. So we walked around that, and that was one of the highlights of the trip for me, to seeing that. And so this is, God, what's it going to be now? 20 years ago? No, 30 years ago.
I know.
And they just started building Geronimo. And they're still going, aren't they? They haven't finished it yet. Yeah. They're still doing that sculpture. Yeah.
This is how long I've been in this. I've been in the States for, because when I left London to come to the States, the Ferris wheel was down. And it was taking like every hour it moved up by a couple of inches. That was it. So that Ferris wheel, it's in London, was still on its side when I left for. That's how long I've been here for. Question for Rob: did you grow that beard to look like Darren and He's always wanted to look like me and Darren. Rob, he's always wanted to look like us. Do you know what I mean?
I think he's doing a far better job.
Mrs. T wanted to go out for her birthday today, and I said, "What? Don't you know it's top 5?" I'm like, well, "Happy birthday, Mrs. T! Happy birthday,
Thank you, Mrs. T.
Sorry about that. Oh, brilliant! Poor Mrs. T having to watch this crap on her birthday. Charming, charming." G4 says, "I still think the three of us said at Joe Fest that Rob and I were going to do a top 5 together. I have bumped my head a few times since then." Yeah, it's just finding the people and finding when they can do it. But you've both done top 5 now. You've both done it. So bloody hell, 16 hours. I know it's far, isn't it? Hey, Wizzy. Wow, everybody's turned up. I can't believe it. South Padre Island is badass. I live an hour away. What's to do at South Padre Island?
That's where all the spring breakers go.
Right.
It's I mean, it's a nice town, don't get me wrong, but it's more, I think, more of a tourist location. Go to the beach, hang out. Obviously, I don't remember a whole lot of it, but it was a good time. I've been there once for spring break.
Well, this is a question for you, Rob. He says, "Have you ever been over to the UK?"
Never.
Oh, you'd be treated like a king, Rob. Look at Scuba when he goes. Everyone does everything for him. Do you know what I mean? Imagine Rob in the English pubs, Darren. He'd get hammered, wouldn't he? He'd be absolutely blasted after about 10 minutes.
I've been to Germany, and I've been to Switzerland, and I've been to Austria.
Right. But you've never been to the UK?
No, a buddy of mine was in the Air Force, and he was stationed in Germany. So I flew over.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Flew over twice to see. You know, he had a house and everything. So he was like, "Hey, man, if you just get the ticket and come over, you know, we'll go." We went snowboarding, stayed in some hostels. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I bet it was.
It was a good time.
Was it full of Australians? The hostels? It's always Australians in hostels, I've noticed.
No, it was a kid. It was him, his wife, his sister, and me. We get in the hostel. It's like bunk beds. You know, it's weird. You have like a communal bathroom. We unload all our stuff. Nobody else is in there. We go snowboarding, skiing. We come back, and there's a kid from Pittsburgh in there. I was like, what the hell?
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah. I did it over here. I was in the middle of nowhere. No, this is a God's honest true story. And I went to CVS. So CVS, Darren, it's like a Boots, if you will. It's a pharmacy. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
You go in and do you have them in Texas? You must have CVS's in Texas, Rob.
Oh, yeah.
It's a nationwide thing. It's a bit like Boots, if you will, but it's just on a smaller scale. I walk in there 10 o'clock at night. I was going to, I forgot where I was going, but I was traveling and I stopped there to get, I don't know, tissues or something like that. Go up to this old lady, she's about 50 on the counter, and I started to talk, and she went, "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from England." She went, "I'm from England." She said, "Whereabouts are you from?" I said, "Blackpool." She went, "I don't believe it. I'm from Blackpool." And she married a soldier, so she's been over here since the 50s, 60s, this old bit.
Oh, wow.
And then she went, "Yeah, I went to Highfield School." And I went, "My mum lives on Highfield Road." I went to Highfield School. I couldn't believe it.
Crazy.
Honestly, middle of nowhere, this woman, same school as me, same town as me. I couldn't believe
That's scary. She stalks you.
Yeah. I've seen every state on the eastern seaboard about to the Midwest. Then I've been to Colorado, California, Minnesota, Michigan, Illinois, Ohio. Yeah, let's have a look. Missing the deep South, Louisiana to the SW. Rob never invites us.
Hey, I'm just waiting for the crew to come down, man. We got we got the Dallas Vintage Toys, Holla Chronicles. I got a Jaden's toy store where I work. And there's toy store. Everything's around. Just come on down.
Was it funny? I bet it's funny as well because it's like G-Force is only around the corner from me. When you found out that Gary Moore's only around the corner.
That was crazy. I bought one item off of him and he shipped it to me. And then I bought another one. He was like, "Hey, you're like 20 minutes away. You think we could just meet up?" I was like, "Yeah, for sure."
Weird, isn't it? Who lives near you, Darren?
So who's closest? Bosk. Tim isn't that far.
Tim's close, yeah.
Probably, he's down. Yeah, he's probably closest. I mean, compared to Rob, everyone's close. We're all, yeah. I mean, even Des, right? It isn't really. I mean, Si is in Blackpool is 5 hours away in terms of. Being in Texas, that's not that far. So everywhere is doable in a day. I
love the way they do that, Rob.
Stu and Georgie are really close as well. Actually, they're not.
Stu and Georgie are close. Yeah, they do that, Rob. If it's like 2 hours away in England, they get a nosebleed. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
I know. I hear Matt on ZSR. They were talking about you're going to go to NEC or whatever.
Yeah, it's too far.
He's like, it's like 2 hours. I'm not. I'm like 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm not going there, Shabby. You're joking. There's not even civilization 2 hours away from me.
You can just put on Hank Williams Jr.'s greatest hits and be there by the time it's over. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just so much traffic. It's just
Oh, just brilliant the way Matt does it. Oh no, I'm not. It's like I said, have you ever been up north? He goes, yeah. I said, where have you been? He went, Bristol. That's not up north.
That's not north.
A poor woman moved to America to get away from Shabby, only to find out he followed her over there.
Working at the CVS.
Working at the CVS. Evening all. Hello, Andy. First, the clocks go back, then top 5 is a few hours. Only 1 hour earlier. Only one. Well, no, sometimes it depends on because that's the thing. When you're a global superstar like I am, you have friends all over the world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
sometimes it's the time zones, isn't it? So when I ask Americans to come on here, Andy, sometimes they don't finish. I mean, remember, it's through the day for us. So I've got to wait till people finish work. And so sometimes it's 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So yeah, I suppose you're right. In England, it goes to
Anyway,
8, 9, 10.
Andy can't complain about change.
Yeah.
What has
I
he
know.
just done to himself at the weekend? We're all freaking out. It's like
I
this
know.
beautifully smooth.
Oh, no, I was
face.
like, I was like, wait, is that Andy? I couldn't believe
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
No one could believe it. Taking your beard off was a big change for you. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? It
Yeah.
did look different. Yeah, I like it though. I think it's
He got too famous. He didn't want to be recognized at the shows. He's like, people bother
He
me.
got too famous. He can't. He
Like
was
Sydney
overwhelmed
Sweeney
by the
walking around.
stardom.
I can't.
Oh, brilliant, Rob! Brilliant. Oh,
There's some people's voices, right? Like Andy's voice and oh my gosh. I'm blanking on her name now. What's Martin's wife's name? I feel so
Steph.
bad right now.
Steph.
Oh my goodness. Like I could just listen to her talk. Just her accent.
She's very
Not bad.
posh. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I never forget that time she was on Tough Thumpers and then she went, "Oh, we found them in the stables." And I was like, "What? Stables?" Brilliant. Q says, "What part of Texas are you from, Rob?"
I live in Denton.
Denton, there, because I know
So
Q's in
that's
Texas.
20 minutes north of Dallas.
Wow. Hey, Kieran. So Delvin saying hello to everybody. Here he goes. Delvin with the beard is 10 minus the beard is 10 years younger. Stu with the minus the beard.
Yeah, that's same with me. I think I look older with the beard.
Yeah, you wait to see Andy. Wait, yeah, you're right. G-Force, wait to see him. Yeah, he gets old, Rob. Look at that. Showing your muscle. How big are your muscles, Darren? How big are your muscles? Look at that. You see what I mean? Good old Dino's here. Collecting. Have you always done it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not enthusiastic enough there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, since you were a kid, have you always, in some form, have you always like collected?
Yeah, and I don't think I realized it until a certain age. I think by the time I was probably young teens, mid-teens, I knew I was like a collector, but I was like collecting toys. I was collecting cards. So it moved on to sports cards.
Okay.
But I knew I was a collector. Like, I mean, you're filling the binders, you're putting them in protective cases. Like they're meaning something to you.
Yeah. And that makes sense. So because sometimes it's like, I remember my grandma, she used to collect these pencil sharpeners, but they're in brass things. Do you remember them, Darren? They were like, it was sewing machine with a pencil case. And the thing was, and my grandma has loads of them. And my mum's always collected. She's always done dolls, and then she makes the clothes for the dolls and that kind of thing. So me and Si have always had it in us. Is that the same way for you, Darren? Did you get it off somebody else, or did you just always done it?
No, I think I've always, so it was, in terms of toy lines, obviously, I kept them. But it was, you get introduced to, it's funny actually say about cards. I was thinking of, sticker albums.
Yeah.
For kids. So, whether it would have been, there you go. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, it's spot on there, Panini stickers. And I hadn't appreciated that. There was only one book I think I ever finished. It was the Transformers one.
Right.
But so I collected those and then sort of kept buying or kept getting toys, or long after I was too old as a teenager to really be bothering to get them. But it was always Star Wars for me that sort of brought me back every time. So in the 90s, Power of the Fourth coming back was amazing. But even then, it was buying things like the Topps cards. So again, being out in the States, I could get the Topps cards really easily. So collecting those, or collecting magazines, or when the Phantom Menace came out, I collected every newspaper, every magazine, I've got the Taco Bell stuff. I've got the Pepsi stuff. I've got the cereal.
Hey, don't show Des.
cards.
Don't show Des. He'll have them. Do you know what I mean? Our Des will have them off your KFC
Because
boxes.
it's Star Wars.
Because he's Star Wars.
He's got the Star Wars.
He'll have all them. Do you know what I mean?
But
do
yeah,
you
it
think
was
it was
kind of- yeah,
Panini?
come on.
It was stickers more than cards. I think it was football, wasn't it? It was the football cards and Transformers, and the Panini was more than, because I see all the Americans, and Rob's got something in his top 5 that we'll talk more about as we go on. But to us, it was more, because I remember the cards, but I remember the car cards. Remember, you used to get cars, and it tell you all the specifics of a car, whatever.
I mean, like
And
Top
was that
Trumps.
like Top Chumps, but there were cars.
Yeah.
That's the only one really in Top Chumps I did. But to
Yeah.
me, like most of the lads here, got need. You know what I mean? You'd sit there. What it was football or and you'd have a stack of him like that, Rob, and you'd go into the school playground, and all you'd hear is got need,
Yeah.
got. Do you
Mhm.
know what I mean? So
Yep.
was that the same with cards? You'd do it at school, Rob?
Yeah,
Cards?
yeah, schools. Yeah, I mean, I don't know anybody who wasn't into them. And then everybody had their favorite player. Everybody, either you had your favorite football player, baseball, basketball.
Yeah.
Nobody was really into hockey in Texas. Hockey's not a big thing, so it was primarily football, at least American football, basketball, and baseball. Those were the 3 big ones.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that makes sense. Okay, we all probably were collectors. Will you do a displayer? That's a good question. I used to put my favorite fiction. I was never a displayer as a kid. I kept them in shoe boxes under my bed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like that.
So I was thinking about that earlier, and I don't know. So my mum would in my bedroom. I had like 4 shelves on the wall, and my mum went and bought a big, wide plank of wood for the bottom, for the lowest shelf, and they were over the end of my bed because it would be big enough. And I think it's the only one I ever really displayed, but it would fit the Falcon. So right from the get-go of getting the Falcon,
Yeah.
that was always on display from when I got it. What would have been 7 or 8 when I got it. Other
Right.
toys I could put on the shelves and stuff and take them down. And the other one that would always be in the AT-AT was always sort of in the corner. It's like a dog in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was
massive,
but it
though,
was-
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a shelf for the Falcon as a child, and that's probably me keeping sort of that thing of displaying stuff so you can see it.
Did mum and dads keep your stuff then? So in other words, it's like I was very, very lucky through toy collecting. So all my Star Wars vintage behind me, most of it, I would say 90% of it, childhood. My mum kept everything. Do you know what I mean? All our toys and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Did your parents do that? Because you hear some stories, they sold it all at a yard sale, or they got rid of it and so forth.
No, my mum kept all my stuff, and then when I came back when I got my first place, she threatened to throw it away. So I was straight round there up the loft and getting it all out. I've got to like 20 years. You're not throwing it away now. Unfortunately, my dad, I did ask him, and because of my dad's, we had Action Force and Lego and also and Action Man. But I think they're throwing it all away. I think when they're on one of their moves, it's all got, unfortunately. I mean, it might be up in the loft, but I think a lot of it's gone. So, I've got my Transformers, Star Wars, Mask, etc. Yeah, they're all my original stuff. There's a few bits missing, or a few bits I've lost.
No toys. I have a lot of my sports cards from when I was a kid. I have a lot. I collected the Sports Illustrateds. And we had Beckett's. I don't know if y'all know what Beckett is. Beckett was a grading. It was a grading magazine. So each month they would come out with a magazine and by Beckett, and you had like a pro athlete on the cover, and then you go through there and you could look up your cards to see the value of them. And obviously the value of cards are pretty much like stock market, right? It depends on the value of the player, how good they are, if they're dropping, if they're good, condition of the card. So I still have a few of those, but I remember selling all my toys at a garage sale for money to put towards cards.
So you subsidized it for another part of your collection.
But I don't think even if I had mine, I mean, I'm sure there'd be sentimental value, but I bet you they're pieces of shit because we played with them. We had this huge rubber toy chest, and it looked like a pirate chest, and it had actual real rope handles on each side. I can remember we piled all our toys in that. I can remember having the lid open and us just shooting our toys into there when it was time to pick up, like just across the room, He-Man, Battle Cat, just like. So I'm sure they were just. Every GI Joe had broken thumbs, broken crotches.
Oh,
I'd take
brilliant.
them apart, mismatch them. I would put like Flint's head on a Cobra soldier, so he'd be like undercover, and I'm sure they were just all destroyed. I remember lighting a I keep blanking the not the AT-AT, yeah, the AT-AT driver. I remember one time tying the parachutes that had the little army men on. You could throw them in the air.
I remember them.
Cutting him off, tying an AT-AT driver to it, soaking them in, I think, hairspray or something, and lighting them on fire and throwing them in the air. So, I mean, I'm not going to display that, Look at this.
This was my number 5, Shabby. What the fuck is that? Oh, brilliant. Panini stickers are the worst, ST. Some of them even do live streams putting the stickers in albums. Yeah, I loved Panini albums. They were great. Even in college, it was my Jordan starting lineup figures sat on top of my displayed CD collection. I found my dad's Roberto. Go on, Rob.
Sorry to interrupt you real quick. I have a Jordan starting lineup. It's the little figurine. I don't know if y'all had those, but starting.
Yeah, we did it for footballers. Starting lineups for footballers. So yeah,
I had one. I kept it from a kid, and one day I come home, and this is recent. My son was like 2 years old, and he took it outside with him in the driveway and grinded his head. So half of Michael Jordan's head's all grinded down. I was like, oh.
So Rob did the same thing to him. How did Found my dad's Roberto Clemente signed graded rookie card. Last sold on eBay for $1,500. Wow. So Rob was an early customer. It sounds like it, yeah. Absolutely brilliant. So your top 5 tonight, plus your honorable mention. Let me ask you a question. How easy was it to come up with this top 5 out of all the stuff you both got? Or how did you come up with your top 5? So I'll start with you, Rob.
So I thought it was super easy once I realized what I wanted to do. I was like, okay, obviously I have pieces that I like now, like a complete Millennium Falcon and AT-AT, stuff like that. But I didn't have that as a kid. So what I wanted to show off are things in my collection that I have now that meant something to me as a kid, or
you went the sentimental route.
Yeah, sentimental route, or I definitely have I remember playing with this. I know for a fact that I had this and played with it when I was a kid. So yeah, that's
the way you went.
Yeah.
What about you, Darren?
I have bent the rules, maybe slightly. In that,
like Tez last week when Tez went, I just picked up anything in my room.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of, you look around and oh shit. But I went stuff that's so there's 4 of them are all stuff that means something.
Yeah. As
in they're stuff from an original, or that's something original that's then fed through to now. One is 2 and 2 are new, but they were kind of just because they were cool and weird and sort of, but sort of odd things at the time that I sort of picked up. You could do it on all sorts,
couldn't you, though, Darren? That's the thing. I've said this. This is like I said. I've had a load of people on top 5, and it's funny, isn't it? Because you say I never realized this when I first started these live streams. Is you could go the sentimental route, you could go the expensive route, you could go what you've picked up, what gifts you've got. Do you know what I mean? There's loads of ways you do it. And one of the things I've thoroughly enjoyed doing all these is when people come on and do different stuff. I mean, we've had people on with pencil cases or people on with CDs and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's not always necessarily about the toys. And I found it fast. I've loved it. And I love listening to the stories of where it's come from and that, because I've said this a million times, so I won't go on about it. But I've always looked at toys or things in your collection as a song. It's like you always remember who you were with, where you were, what it means to you. And it's funny, isn't it? You just look at a piece of plastic, if you will, and you're immediately transported to that time and that kind of thing. So yeah, well, I'm looking forward to this. I really am. Hi, Biker. So Biker's here. Good old George is here. Right. So let's get ready. We'll start off with your honorable mentions. Right, Rob, I've got you, big my friend. So what's your honorable mention, buddy?
Okay, so my honorable mentions are 3 items that I have in my collection that I saw as a kid and was like, wow, I've never seen this before, and I never had it as a kid, so now I really enjoy it as a kid. So the first one, so mine come with some little stories. So the first one I'm going to show is I was probably, I don't know, 6, 7 years old. The whole family went to Oklahoma and Thanksgiving. We're coming back to Texas from Oklahoma. Our car catches on fire on the side of the road. My dad, I can remember
blowing on it.
Yeah,
It'll be fine.
my dad looks at my mom and says, "You get the kids, I'll get the guns." So we got out of the car, and then so we walked over. Luckily, there was a person's house right there on the side of the road because it was kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So they let us come inside, and this wasn't cell phones and stuff like that. So we had to use their phone and call somebody to come pick us up. A cousin that lived in Oklahoma came and picked us up. But the kid there had something that I had never seen before, and I wanted, and I recently just got it, and it's going to be a reissue. It's not the original, but it's still pretty awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I remember, and that kid guarded this thing. I think he must have known that I had my eye on it because I can remember that kid. Like he wouldn't let it go. Like he had this thing, and he wasn't gonna let it go. But
it is one of the most iconic. I mean, I've had a few people on top 5 with this, and you can understand, can't you, Darren? Why this is here? I mean, it's just
my
Optimus
God,
Prime.
I loved that as a kid, and
yeah,
no, it was, and getting it was so hard.
Well, these reissues are very nice. They're solid, great quality. The only problem is the stickers suck. So I got a guy from Tez for stickers. So I just got to order the stickers. So yeah. So that's the first one, and the second one is I can remember being a little kid and my mom taking me to a friend's house, and it was her friend. I didn't know the people or anything, but the boy was older and he was in school, so I must have been fairly young, pre-kindergarten, or maybe I don't know. But he had something in his collection that I'd never. I remember walking in his room. The friend, my mom's friend, was like, "Yeah, go in the room. You can play in so and so's room." And I remember walking in, and he had a Return of the Jedi set up. I remember the Ewok fortress, like I mean everything. Like I was blown away. I just couldn't believe everything because I didn't have a lot of Star Wars. I was born in '80, so I had a few figures, but no vehicles, no play sets, nothing like that. So I was just blown away about the mass amount of stuff this kid had, and I just went through it. I mean, I bet he came home and was like, "What the hell just happened?" So this is one of the things. He had 2 things in his room. This was the first thing he had, and I'm gonna kind of brag because I do have the box, but
yeah.
He had the Rancor, and man, I gotta tell you, I'd never seen a Rancor before. I had no idea.
No, I bought one of Andy last year.
Everybody's seen a Rancor, right? But he's in there. He's in there. He's complete, but everybody's seen a Rancor. I'm not gonna take it out. But yeah, I'd never seen one before. I was like, "What?" I mean, I've seen it in the movie. I kind of vaguely knew what it was, but his mouth. He had the little trigger on the back, and the mouth was munched. And I was eating his toys with them, and yeah, it's an amazing toy.
It's a great toy. Like I said, I had it as a kid, and then I missed out on it. And then I went to Star Wars Fun Day about 20 years ago, and it was there, and he wanted £30 for it. And at the time, 20 years ago, I was like, 30 quid for that. And then I walked around and it had gone. But Andy was selling one last year. Andy Oligonicals sold me one last year, and I was made up with it. Yeah, the Rancor, again, Optimus Prime Rancor, great figures.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
So it must have been probably 6 or 7 because he had this, and just thinking of the date that it came out. But he had this, and I had seen it on cartoons, G.I. Joe, but I'd never seen one in person, and it was amazing to me. I couldn't believe, like, just to see that in person, I was blown away. And, we didn't have the internet and stuff like that, so we couldn't just go look at toys like.
It's a weird story behind him, though, Rob, because I started to watch, like I said, the old 80s cartoon, and I was made from DNA and this and that, and so, and he was just like, do you know what I mean? I never knew this, and he treated Cobra Commander. You'd watch in the first season like he's right, I'm mad if you will, or like he meant nothing. And he had what was his catchphrase? He kept saying something all the time in it. What was it at the end?
I don't remember. This I command. He used to say
this
that
I command. That's it. This I command. Did you ever have one of them? Were you into G.I. Joe as a kid, Darren?
No. So we had.
He wasn't.
No, we had Action Force.
Yeah.
So the sort of the Palatoy stuff, and I think by the times, I mean, others in the chat are going to know way more about this than I do. But I always think of G.I. Joe being when I was a bit older. So sort of at 85. I did have a few. I mean, I had a Snake Eyes, I had a Striker, the Jeep vehicle thing. But I say, at my dad's, we had loads of the Palatoy Action Force, so the tanks. I do remember we all had one of those friends that always had all the toys.
Yeah.
And I even his name was Daniel Wrigley, and he lived around the corner from me. And I haven't seen him since but I still remember his name. But I haven't seen him since 1985. And he had everything, and he had the Robo Skull.
Ooh,
So he had all of the Crimson lot, and and it was just we had no idea. I didn't know what that thing was. I mean, I'd love to have one. They're so expensive. But it was just, we just thought this is like a TIE fighter, but awesome. It's red, brilliant. Yeah.
It was brilliant. Yeah.
So that's my three, my honorable mentions. So
awesome. Look at this. So Jibo says you don't hear stories like that.
Get the guns.
Exactly. You get the kids, I'll get the guns. Look at this. Brilliant.
Yeah, how to sum up the difference between the UK and America in one sentence.
Look at that, Jibos. I could write a country song with that one. Oh, the lovely lady Stephanie's here. Evenings, guys. I'm out tonight at Halloween's light trail, but I will catch up on the rewatch. Well, cheers, Steph. Hiya, John. Good old John's here as well. So Sai goes, it's no Megatron though, is it? Absolutely brilliant. Hiya, Rhino. Nice to see you, pal. Hiya, Sharon, Shabby, Darren, and Rob. Hiya, pal. Des says, I have no recollection of G.I. Joe either, but remember, that's exactly what I did. I went from Star Wars, Rob, like Darren, to Action Force. But I think, I was born in 75. I know it's hard to believe looking at me, but but what is it? So I think maybe, I don't know, teenage years from 85. Well, when was G.I. Joe for us, Darren? After Action Force, so it's got to be 84, 85.
I was just thinking about the Action Force movie was the year after the Transformers movie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what's that, 86, 87, I suppose?
Transformers, the movie, was 85.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah. So, and definitely
was supposed to die in that, but they changed it after they killed off Optimus Prime.
Right. Got you.
Yeah, but then they did the old somehow Optimus survived trick.
Yeah. No one's ever really got it. Exactly right. Yeah. Simon says, I had a mate at college called Stu Wrigley. We called him Chewy. Yeah, I remember Chewy, Si. Yeah, I do. Oh, Mr. B's here. Hi, Mr. B. Wow, you've got loads of 40 people in the chat. So this is awesome. This is awesome. A great start. Right, our Darren. What's your honourable mention, buddy?
So these are two that I got through when I was buying stuff so this is sort of from about I don't know, 8-9 years ago, but I wasn't really collecting Star Wars much at that point from a toy perspective. So I've got the time. So these the Gentle Giant made these. So they're
let me just make you a little bit bigger for that because I've never seen that before. Have you seen that before, Rob?
I've never seen
it. Not? Yeah, so they sort of like super deformed. So he's got a knuckle duster on his hand. He's got a pull ball as the gear stick on his TIE fighter. But they've got what else they've got on there? They've got the kill. I don't know if you can see that. You can see the X-wings that he's killed.
Oh yeah, we can see it perfect.
Yeah. So I loved. This was the time when I just sort of pick up weird bits, sort of like slightly sort of left field, but and they did two. So they did the TIE fighter.
And who made these? Gentle Giant, Darren?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
And then they did.
Don't show our side. That it'll be.
They come with a base. They have a base on them.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So sort of. Yeah. So
I have never seen them ever.
No, I've never seen that.
Ewoks for his kill, and you've got the
murder bears,
the flag, and then it's like little details here. Can you see that he's got a screwdriver as his gear, and I think that's a magic 8-ball again that he's got as his
What year are these, Dad? What year are they?
What does it say? 2007.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
Wow. And how did you come across these then?
I think probably just sort of seeing pictures of them online at some point somewhere back then, and then sort of being able to get them off. I think I bought each of them I want to say I spent about 60. I think they were about £60. I'd bought them at
Each
different
or
points.
for both?
Each.
Well, that's
But it was a time when, in fact, actually, yeah, it's even got like a little brush on the back there with the flame thing on there as well. But it's just insane, sort of I just loved the level of detail. It was kind of like how cool a sort of, sort of
Really
funky
cool.
kind of reflection. And it was a time like my kids had just been born. Well, certainly Jess was around by this point, and Lucy would have been sort of really young. So again, it's not like I had a huge amount of money to be able to spend on collecting things. So I just picked up the odd piece here and there. And yeah, the other thing I would get was the Gentle Giant helmets, which were actually thinking about originally in the 90s would have been the do you pronounce it Rydell or Riddle? But it's a maker of the American football helmets.
Oh yeah, Rydell.
So I had 3PO and Vader of those. So again, it was sort of getting the Gentle Giant stuff was pretty cool. So
Sorry, are they the ones, the companies that make the real big figures? Are they? Is that Gentle Giant?
Yeah.
Oh, the
Gentle
carded
Giant,
ones.
Yeah.
And they make the busts that Matt's got as well. You know, the busts that
Yeah.
they do like half a figure and so.
Yeah, I think they've gone. I think are they now part of Diamond. I want to say Diamond.
No,
Select
they bought Diamond Select because Diamond Select went out of business,
yeah.
and I think they bought them. Yeah. But wow.
Yeah, so over the years I've got loads of, and I get lots of, I had some of the statues and the busts and things that you could get, but yeah, I just love those. I just thought they were really funky pieces just to get some weird bits of Star Wars collectors.
Awesome start, boys. Awesome start. This George Aikens says, go on, Rob.
Is this crazy when you think you've seen everything?
When you think
and
you've seen everything,
somebody brings something up and you're like, where did
the hell
that
come
from?
That's why I never show up about a collection, because there's always someone out there who's like, well, you've got that, have you, Shabs? I've got this. You know what I mean? Exactly right. G.I. Joe was released in '87 under the Action Force International Heroes. That was right, because it went to Action Force. Action Force International Heroes, then straight into G.I. Joe, didn't it? So yeah, it must have been the late 80s. So cheers for that. And Kieran says, Darren, you haven't seen him since you tried to steal his Robo Sculpt and he's here tonight. Brilliant. I like this. It's like Rat Fink Gasser style. Yeah, they are. It's got that sort of graffiti-ish kind of look, hasn't it? Yeah. Keith says G.I. Joe wasn't available in the UK until the 80s. Our version of Action Man and Action Force, when the two companies merged in '82, and at the end of Palatoy saw the introduction of G.I. Joe to the UK. Perfect. Cheers for that, Keith. I appreciate that. Yeah, that is mint. I thought you'd like that, Si. That by Hi, Matt. Driving and listening. Nice to see you. Keith, 82 to 85 was Palatoy Action Force 86. Was still Action Force, but with repackaged G.I. Joe 87 when there was the Action Force International Heroes come out. Rob, let me ask you a question. There's a lot of G.I. Joe lads, and we've seen it when we go to Joe Fest, and they set up the Palatoy, you know, the Action Force. Have you ever wanted to do that yourself? Because a lot of lads, what they do is they get all the Joe stuff they want, then they go straight into Action Force. Would you ever consider doing that, Rob? Or...
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because I know Scuba's done it. Scuba's got into the Palatoy Action Force and so forth.
Yep, I would love to, man. I see those things and they look cool. They do.
Yeah, they do. They really. I love the red and yellow packaging. It was always that right for me. Yeah, and that guy, there was a guy at Joe Fest, Rob, who was selling it. Come over from England and Ireland, and they were selling them over here. And I tell you what, his prices were brilliant. Yeah. I bought a couple of them. I bought the old SAS one, and do you know what I mean? And I think
really
the
good deals.
One. And they were like $10-15, which is about a tenner. So I can't go wrong there. So
he was set up right beside the guy from America whose prices were like double his.
That was weird. That was weird. Yeah, that was weird. He's gone all the way over and bought them back, selling them like they were pieces of art. This guy went, "Yeah, you can have mine for a tenner." I mean, he was like, George, I'm talking about the G.I. Joe first sold in the UK. Wow, look at you two knowing all about it. There's a guy asking $800 for that Biker Scout right now.
Really?
Whoa. Wow. It's probably Si.
It came out for 600. There you go.
There you go. Side deal. 600. So what? 60 quid? About $77, Rob. That's not bad at all, is it? For one of them, I'd do. I wouldn't do $800 for it, but I'd definitely do that. Funko made some of those super deformed Star Wars figures, more like a comically detailed statues than the pops they currently make. Still had the wobbly head though. Yeah, they look cool. I liked them. Let's have a look. I should get an Action Force fig to go with my Joes. Yeah, I think you should. Yeah. I like the 5 POA, but then they turned because I remember a couple of the lads were showing Action Force, but they look like Joes. And I thought, I don't remember them at all. I remember the 5 POA ones. But then when we started off doing Tub Thumpers, Simon found that old tub with Destro in it and a Red Shadow that were done as Joes. And I thought,
yeah, those look awesome. Like Destro, I think he has the skull and crossbones right there on his chest. Oh, yeah, that looks good. Yeah.
So okay. I'll write that one down. I'll think I'll have one of them. Our Troop Transport was better than the American basic. George not having anyway. That was right. Ours was camouflage and yours was sand, wasn't it, Rob? You know,
the big pickle, the Troop Transport. Yeah,
yeah. You remember the one with it's got the safety belt that goes across them all, and you can sit them all in the back. I think ours was all camouflaged and dark green, and yours was sandy color.
Oh, is he talking about G.I. Joe or Star Wars? Yeah. He's talking about
G.I. Joe.
Yeah. Ours was just brown. Yeah, I think there was a melloway version. I saw it on Retro Blasting where it's a little bit different. It looks a little bit better, but I think it's more pricey to get.
Right, got you. I had my own the Q Force. Yeah, that was right. There was Z Force. There was Q in Action Force, wasn't there? It was all done like yellows and blues and
they did a massive hovercraft thing, didn't they? Was that what they're talking about? Yeah,
yeah. But in GI, Stu just restored one. I think it's the whale in there. But and I think you can get that with Canadian flags as well on it, can't you, Rob?
I think
super cool. Do you need my interest, George? Look at that. I have 5 sea lions. Oh, brilliant. Biker says, I picked up the Robo School Pilot Red Wolf at the weekend. Such a cool. Yeah, you had a nice setup, Biker. You did really well. Go on, Rob. What were you going to say?
Oh, what is the sea lion? Is that the hovercraft? Is that the G.I. Joe well?
I think it is. I think it's the same thing. Yeah. Careful, George. You don't want to upset Rob. He has guns, apparently. I'm not saying anything. Hiya, VTR. Lovely to see you, pal. I have an RV. He says, yeah, you're exactly right. Well, there you have it. There's your honourable mentions. Let's get to your top 5. Right, Darren, I've got you on the left. So what's your number 5, buddy?
My Star Wars Samurai style.
I've got pictures of them. Let me get them for you. Yeah, got pictures for you right here, buddy. Yeah, you sent them to me about 3 weeks ago, I remember. So
yeah, about 20 seconds ago. Yeah.
Let's have a look. They're here somewhere. Hang on, where are they? Then here we go. Got him. Hang on, right. Put one there. I'll put one there. Right, here we go. Just be a sec. Right. Got it up and running. Let me just get it up on here. These are cool as well. I like these. There we go.
Yes, it is. This is another one where it was picking up example Star Wars, always Star Wars related, but again, just picking something or getting something that was a bit weird or a bit out of the ordinary. And these are done by, I think it's Bandai, actually. Yeah.
Are they called Tamashii Nations?
That's it. Yeah, but I think ultimately it's a Bandai company that owns them. But yeah, you've got Stormtroopers, you've got Vader, they've done 3POs, loads of different ones. And I think the first one I got was the Imperial Guard. And I want to say he was my I think I got it for my 40th. Then Darth Maul, my brother picked up when he was in Japan, actually, when he was in Tokyo. So that actually has come from a long way. And Boba, I picked up in Sandown, actually.
These keep the retail value too, because these are pricey, man. You know, I mean, I've seen.
Yeah, I think I want to say certainly. Yeah, I think probably about the Boba Fett was about 60 quid.
Right.
And they would go for sort of 80. So I knew it was a good price because normally they'd be going for sort of 80 to 100. And this is going back. Oh, I want to say 5. It's not 5 years. It's longer than that. So probably 10 years ago, maybe.
Wow.
But again, I just love having, Star Wars, but in a form that you wouldn't expect to see.
Is that what you look out for then? Obviously, showing the Gentle Giants and this sort of thing, something a little bit unique, a little bit different.
Yeah. So
have you ever had any of these, Rob? Have you ever had some of these?
I've never even seen those. Are those 6-inch?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
actually, no, I think they're probably a bit. No, they're a bit.
I've never seen those.
Yeah, a bit bigger than. Yeah, they're probably about 8-inch. Yeah.
Okay. Probably like maybe the Rambo figures or Sectars.
Yeah, around
again,
there.
it's just sort of the level of detail that they go on the armor and what have you with the face sculpts and everything. It was just sort of I just love these sort of things, and in terms of sort of it's the Imperial Guard, the red. It's just it's so bright and just love them.
How easy are they to get over there? Because I know over here it's the same as figure arts. They're not really. They have to be imported over here, so the price obviously is expensive. Are they? Is it the same for the UK to buy these, or can you just walk into a retail shop and get them?
Oh no! You would. Echo actually had some. I did see them this time around at Echo. So they're still up here, but stuff like that I probably would go online now. It would it'd be an eBay thing. There's not really anywhere you can go.
Yeah, they are.
Collector spares. You see them.
How many have you made of these now? There's a few of them.
That's what I was about to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the lot. And they've even sort of reissued or redone ones. I mean, they've done. I suppose they did an R2. It's a bit like the Visions ones. I suppose were a bit like it. The Samurai ones. It's sort of when Hasbro did theirs,
right,
in a similar vein. But I think there's about 20, 30 different versions of it.
Yeah, they are pretty
of the figures. I mean, obviously you've got. I think they've even newer ones where you can get the Mandalorian, for example. Certainly you can get Django. And I say that the stormtroopers are all in different. Some of them are band. They play bands, so some of them have got drums and things, as if they're in a sort of military parade style thing.
Now, are you one of those people that if you pick these up, because I know what that sort of personality I've got, I'd have to have them all.
Mm-hmm.
Are you one of those? Just pick up what you like.
No, thankfully, either I'm able to sort of. It's really bad because if I get the first thing, then immediately I'm on to I must order another one. I must order another one. And I go a bit mental. But if I at least sort of breathe and a week or two, let it all subside a bit and enjoy the one you've got, then it kind of subsides. But these ones were just sort of things that sort of keep an eye out for. Every now and again they pop up. And again, I was buying this at a time when this was the Star Wars stuff I collected, a bit like the other two that I showed. I wasn't collecting figures at all. I stopped collecting Hasbro. Attack of the Clones. I didn't buy anything after Attack of the Clones. So I had a few pieces from Attack of the Clones. I didn't buy anything Revenge of the Sith. I didn't do any TVC. In fact, I could remember going into Forbidden Planet looking for other things. Yeah. And just seeing all of. It got really confusing because they had all the different card backs. And it was just like, what are Hasbro doing? You had like 5 or 6 different card backs all running at the same time. I was like, no. And it was just repeat of characters I already figured that I'd bought. So I was looking for, still wanting to buy Star Wars stuff, still wanting to collect it, but looking at stuff that was, different.
I just did it. I mean, I just got rid of 99% of my 3/4-inch Star Wars figures have gone. Carded and loose, do you know what I mean? And because I was the same way, I started collecting the TV scene. I got to like 50, about 70 to 100, and then I thought, and then Black Series came along for me, and it's funny because I really appealed to the 6-inch market. I loved it, the 6-inch market, But these, I would pick up these, but it's like I said, it's one of those things where someone like me has to turn around and say, don't, because, do you know what I mean? I'll be phoning our site, have you got 60 quid? So I can, do you know what I mean? Awesome. Would you pick these up, Rob?
No, they're just not my cup of tea. They're cool, but I'm just pretty much focused on vintage. Not to say those aren't vintage, but,
So why
Yeah,
was that? Because you were getting the modern kind of, then you just went, no, I'm sticking straight to it.
Yeah.
What made you do that then? Stick straight to vintage, Rob?
Just the passion and the love took over for the vintage. That just the nostalgia, and then I just didn't have that quite feeling for the modern. And then honestly, it was just a beating. It was a beating going to the stores and looking for this stuff and trying to find it. And I know people are like, well, you can order it online, you can pre-order, you can do it. It's not the same. Like I enjoy.
I know.
Going to the
I mean, I'm
store.
only 26. Look at what it
Yeah.
did to me.
Yeah. And it got to be a hassle. Like it's so liberating and like nice now not to stop at Ross and stop at Target and Walmart, and it's nice.
I've always said I'm both,
that.
you see, but I've got to admit, I mean, I've been buying the Motu, and then I got banging to, and you helped me out with the vintage, Rob, and I really appreciated that with the vintage Motu and Scubras and so forth. And I've really enjoyed buying and finding the complete Motu figures from the 80s, and I'm also doing it with vintage Ghostbusters. I'm trying to get all the villains from the vintage Ghostbusters. And one of the nicest things, Rob, I don't know whether it's the same way as Joe's as well, because I know you've spent some money on Joe's, but the thing about the stuff I collect, it's not breaking the bank either. Because I was always under the assumption, Rob and Darren, that buying vintage is costing me hundreds. Do you know? And it isn't. It's not doing that. I don't think I've ever bought a. I mean, a couple of the Motu ones they've been up there. Do you know what I mean? $70, $80, which really, if you buy two Black Series, it's the same price. That's what Si said to me. You know, because I was always like complaining or whatever. But I agree. I find it's refreshing buying the vintage as well. I do like buying it.
Yeah, the price had a lot to do with it too. It was just it was like, $20 for a 3/4 inch Star Wars TVC. Man, I can go get a vintage GI Joe for the same price, and I have way more nostalgia for that. And that means
that's the only thing that did it was the Mass 9. I was talking to our Luke Reynolds, and I was saying about the Mass. I'd love to get into the new Mass line. It gives me a. But when they were coming out and they're more expensive than the actual vintage ones, I was like, well, this is pointless. I might as well go for the real stuff. Do you know what I mean? And do it that way. Darren, are you the same way, or does vintage not really play a part in the way you collect? Because behind you, you've got helmets and obviously the Razor Crest, that kind of thing.
Yeah, there are sort of vintage stuff that I will go for. Mainly sort of the Star Wars lines. I suppose because I've kept all my original stuff. So if you like the stuff that I would have wanted to then expand on, I got the Star Wars stuff. I didn't really get back into buying vintage until the first time I went to Echo. So that would have been what's that?
When it's there in front of your face, it gives you more of an appeal.
And it hadn't even occurred to me to sort of, and I was like, well, how many figures have I got? Oh, actually, I haven't got that. I haven't got all of the 96. So, the first one I went to, I came away with, I think I had about 10, 15 figures. And I've since then bought, I never had the Y-Wing, so I got the Y-Wing. As you saw, the last one, I picked up the TIE Fighters that I never had. So you just sort of go back and actually, you know what, there are things.
I just bought an Imperial Gunner off of Jeff Barker. Jeff Barker gave me an unbelievable price, and if he watches this, thank you so much. He gave me a great price for it because I never had it, and now I'm 3 away from collecting, finishing off the 96. But it was so refreshing to get a Star Wars figure, if we're looking at it that way, for a good price, for like instead of breaking the. Because I always wanted a carded Return of the Jedi Luke, and I saw one at Joe Fest, and it was 350 quid. You couldn't even see the figure. The bubble was so yellow, and I think that in a way that's what kind of puts me off sometimes with vintage. I'm like, I'm paying all this money for something that nostalgic's good, but I've realized
definitely a rabbit hole that I steer clear of, which is the vintage mint on card.
Do you sometimes both of you have to say no then? Like, Rob, you've been buying these vintage Joes and you're like, that's too much for me. I've got to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really the carded stuff. Like, I would love to have a carded, but, they make stuff where you can display in acrylic cases now. So now, like, you can put the card back in the acrylic case with the figure right here. And
I got one. Andy sent me one. I did it with a Flint. Yeah.
Does that satisfy my need for, 100 compared to spending, this carded for $200? Yeah, I mean, I'm good.
Makes perfect
100%.
sense what you're saying.
Yeah.
Jonathan says, really wish the Robo School Mark II was sold on it was never sold over there. Because I know VTR got one. Looks amazing, but the shipping from the US is mental. Oh, that's unbelievable. It was never sold over there. I know Scuba got one.
No, because it's actually really cheap. By HasLab standards, it's really cheap.
God, yeah.
I think it's about $250, $280, but it's another $100 to ship it. So over here, we end up because I have looked at it a few times and then thought about my wife and went, nope.
Yeah, Scuba opened it on. We did a stream on it, and Scuba opened when VTR was on too. And yeah, I've got to admit that thing is unbelievable.
It's amazing, it's stunning.
And Scuba and VTR, they did it differently. There were all the stickers and or a different version of it, and they both had different versions. I think VTR went more for the Robo Skull look, and then obviously Pete added all the bits on. But it's we've seen it at Joe Fest, me and Robin. It's a beautiful piece. It really is.
It is.
Yeah, I have my suspicions. Hey, Robbie, nice to see you. I have that Darth Maul. I picked it up half price at a bookstore for $20 in Austin, Texas. There you go.
Yep.
So he's got the Maul. The Samurai series is mint, says G-Force. Yep. Love the oddball Star Wars items. Yeah, well, you come to the right place. Rob Darren's got a few of them. Yep. There are at least 20 of these figures I know. So there are a few of them then, Darren. Yeah. There are a few, yeah. Here we go. Toy fairs, cons for the Samurai. GameStop type stores have them, but not regularly. Right. Oh, okay. Right. Pod Racing Palps. Hi, Palps. Palpatine's never late. He's never early. He writes precisely when he's supposed to. Absolutely brilliant. Good evening, Palps. Nice to see you. Rob gifted me 75% of my Motu collection. The other 25 is I bought to send to Australia. Look at that. Yeah, Rob, you were cool for that sort of stuff. Sold an island lair to Hasbro. Need a home. Luke. See, it's the same Shabby as the new mass vehicles. Prices are so much cheaper than in the States. It's crazy over here. I couldn't believe it because we had all that conversation. I was under the impression, Rob and Darren, brilliant, because I can start this again without breaking the bank, right? Because they brought out the gem doll. I'm not going to go on about gem. You know what I mean? But,
did they? Did you get that?
Right, but I mean, what I'm saying. The quality of that gem doll and what it comes with, the speaker that it comes with, it plays the song. It was really good for the price, and I thought, wow, that's brilliant. So I was always under the assumption that obviously when mass comes out, it will be at loyal subject prices. Do you know they did the whole range of strawberry shortcake like $5, $10, $15, like that. So I thought brilliant. But when I saw the prices, but apparently over there, like our Luke says, right, it was a lot cheaper. It's like $175 for the Rhino, and I was like, I could get a box vintage one of them for about 100, do you know? And then Scuba went to that place in Indiana and showed the Switchblade for $100, and it's 125 over here. And I thought, nah, I'll stick with you know what I mean? I'll have a look if I can do it that way. Amazon have deals on TVC figures. Picked up 2 boxes of the Night Troopers. Brilliant. I just got a Night Trooper. Jonathan says exactly, Darren. The Robo Skull is really fair price until you add the shipping and the customs. Best of both worlds, really, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? What's your number 5, Rob?
So my number 5 is just some miscellaneous figures that I have that I can remember. So I had definitely Gears.
I've been collecting them too, all the mini bots. I
think he's one I can transform fairly quickly without.
Yeah, Shabby can transform that.
Give it to me, I'll do it for you. Nah.
So I definitely remember playing and having Gears, but this little guy, he was probably my all-time favorite.
That's a GoBot, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a GoBot. So C-Spay is what I think he's called. Transforms to a little shuttle.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was man, I can just remember, as a little kid, even my son did it. You just always have that toy in your hand and you're just carrying it with you anywhere you go. So I can remember never going anywhere without this guy. So yeah.
Were you bothered that it was a Go? Because we have this thing as we've all got older and we do these streams or whatever. Oh, GoBots with the crap. But I never thought about it like that. They were just Transformers to me.
That's how I didn't think so. If I had any other ones and played with it, I probably never knew any difference between Transformers, other than they just didn't have the Autobot sign. Maybe once I started watching the cartoons, because I definitely remember watching the Transformer cartoons, and I had a few Transformers, but nothing like Motu or G.I. Joe. But he is pretty special to me. I was glad to add him to the collection. And then, this guy, He's the
Removable
one that
limbs,
returned it. Yeah,
Movable
and
limbs, yeah.
I remember playing with him. Just I think the appeal with him was just that you could take him apart. Like I thought
Do you
that
have
was
his? Do you have the? Do
so
you have the
cool.
cape for that? You know, remember the?
Yeah. I
Yep.
have the cape for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was cool, and this is probably my favorite Star Wars figure. So had him. I had a couple of these as a kid. Like something now. I would like to get a carded, because you're not breaking the bank on this one.
No.
So, and the bubble's nice, but which I think there's some Mexico ones that are pretty common.
Okay,
Where the bubble doesn't yellow. But yeah, for whatever reason, man, just being a young kid and playing with him, like he was just so cool looking.
Yeah.
And most of the time, if I played with Star Wars, it was with GI Joes. Like I can specifically remember putting Leia's poncho, that camo poncho, on my GI Joes. Han's camo trench coat, he was on my GI Joe, so I know I had those as a kid. And then,
definitely, yeah.
Yeah, the last one I'll show is it seems so cheesy, but man, I can remember this coin bank, this Darth Vader coin bank sitting on my dresser probably all the way until I remember my collecting from the houses when we moved. Like I lived here, I remember having these, and then we moved to another house. I can remember having that, and then we moved to another house, and I remember having that. So yeah, he sat on my dresser for a long time. Now this isn't the one I had as a kid, but yeah, that was really special to me. I don't think I even had a Darth Vader toy, so I'm pretty sure he was just always the Darth Vader whenever I played with action figures and stuff. So yeah, so that's my top 5. Just some miscellaneous toys that I enjoyed as a kid.
Absolutely brilliant. Loved it. I think it's where it came from all of us. I would say 95% of us all collectors, it started with Star Wars, didn't it? And went from there. I can't think of anybody that didn't have Star Wars that we've met half a decade in, from doing all this. So would you say it was the same? I mean, I remember Action Man. Obviously, we had Action Man and that sort of stuff. But I'm talking 3/4 inch. It was always Star Wars for me.
Yeah, I don't remember. I was like, so 80. Like, I don't remember having that passion and love like I did for Motu and GI Joe. But I always, there was always Star Wars figures there.
Yeah,
like,
always.
Like in the toy chest. I mean, I don't know where I got them. I don't ever remember buying them from the store. I'm sure they were probably gifts or parents picked them up or hand-me-downs or something. But yeah, there was always Star Wars figures around.
I think it's weird because obviously when you're little and you live in your hometowns or whatever, you never assumed until you get older and obviously the world's massive that people halfway across the world were doing the same stuff on Toy Day as you were. Do you know what I mean? Bringing all your toys to school and playing with the same stuff and this and that. And I always find, and that's one of my favorite things about the social medias that we've been doing all this time now, is finding out that when you talk to people that you have no idea existed 5 years ago, but did exactly the same things as you did as a kid and collected the same things, loved the same things. I love that sort of stuff. Reynolds says, I got a brand new Loyal Subjects condo for 21 quid. That pisses me right off. Thunder up for 40. Switchblade for 50. Wow.
I want to see a review. I haven't seen any reviews on these.
He's too busy at PTRs enjoying himself. Do you know what I mean? I mean, those Swedish meatballs.
Have they actually shipped yet? Have they actually shipped anything? Has Luke actually got them?
Yeah, I didn't know they were shipping yet. Big Bad Toy Store says they're still pre-order. I think. I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong.
Wizzy says, yeah, the removable 3PO was a big sales pitch. Yeah, it's a great. I love the little. The reason I asked for because I had a spare one here, and I thought if you haven't got it, I'll just send it to you. But yeah, I love that figure. Loved it.
I love the card back for that figure as well. It's obviously chewy as well. Brilliant.
It is a great card back.
Hey, listen, let's be honest. Without the card backs on TVC, it wouldn't do as well as it. It's the card backs in it. That card back gets you every time.
That's what got me. That's what got me with TVC. That's what got me back into that. The card back and that. Then just the figure, they take up a lot of space, and I kind of listened to size. So I was like, hey, if you got something sitting in your garage for 2 years, 3 years, does it really mean that much to you? So I was like, you know what? These things are just sitting in a garage. What am I going to do with them? It's like all my Joes, my Motu, everything like that's inside the house, and none of it's in the garage. So yeah, it's just time to move on.
That's what I did, and it was really weird for me. But, I would have thought as well, lads, because, like I said, the fellow who owns the toy thing came around and took the lot, everything, and I had like 5 or 6 Star Wars, Darth Vader, he took everything, and I thought brilliantly. And I thought afterwards, oh, no, I'm going to regret. And I haven't done so far. It's like, but I think it's what you've just said, Rob. it's been sat in my shed for years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I've come to the conclusion. It's like I collected all the 5 POA Force Awakens stuff, and the last year I've given it all to my nephew for Christmas. He can have the lot. So what a great Christmas for him! He's opening all those toys.
Yeah.
He's gonna
just don't watch the movie, kid.
This is what I mean. The thing is, he's only I think he's 10, so he loves the sequels. So now when he gets older, I want him to, when it's his 40s, 50s, go, oh, I remember my uncle Mark gave me all this stuff when I was a kid. There's a story for him, and sometimes it's more than money. I think because we always talk about the value of it, and we want bang for our buck. But sometimes it's more than that. I think if you move stuff on, and I've never done it. You see, this is after all these years of collecting, I've never sold anything, and I don't look at it as the money value. I think, well, somebody else can enjoy it now. Someone can else. And now I can understand when people say that, Darren and Rob, when they say, I'd rather pass it on for somebody else to enjoy it and that kind of thing. I can get that now. So
never sold, much to Sarah's dismay. I've never sold or given away any of my stuff. It's all in the
it's a weird sensation.
I do get it, because in popping up into the loft today, just to sort of go, oh, actually, there's a couple of versions of things I just want to either take a couple of pictures of or get down. And I'm looking at the TVC stuff, and I got boxes of it. Yeah. And I only started collecting that because I started watching Bosk's videos in lockdown. And then obviously found you guys at the same time as or USR at the time. And I didn't really know. And that was sort of, and it pulled me back into the Star Wars collecting, and like Rob said, it's the card back, it's the do you know what? But the other thing I did was, I get banned for Echo for this, but I've bought cards reprints. So I take my figures, buy the packs you can buy on, you buy your
Use Your Mic did a video on that years ago doing that.
Yeah, you buy and they're good quality. But I'm not going to try and sell them. So as far as I'm concerned,
I'm all for it.
It's for me. And if I did give them away or sell them, I would sell them openly, saying it's a repo. But I started putting my figures into cards and doing that, and that really sort of but it is that racetrack around silver, and it's just like, oh god damn you.
If they ever came out with a retro, I say it all the time, probably gets old, but if Hasbro would do a GI Joe one, I know that, because I was all in for that 25th anniversary ones.
And the foil
they put that card out there with a repro or a retro figure on it. I'm a sucker. I'd probably buy them.
VTR says the Space Shuttle GoBot is one of my favorites, except for the Porsche. They are. So you love that GoBot. I liked Leader 1 and Cycle. What's that? Oh, from GoBot. Cycle was the bike. Yeah, I remember that one.
Leader 1 was an F-15, I think.
We were the test audience for ads disguised as. I completely agree with that. What a great way to look at it, John. Oh, yeah, you're right. Did someone say TVC? Brainwashed monkeys we are. I agree with that one too. Yeah, brilliant. Bosk and only one Kenobi have so much to answer for. What we did was, and I've always said that over the past 6 years, we took a negative like the pandemic and turned it into a positive. All this stems from that. Do you know what I mean? Everybody that comes, exactly what you just said, Darren, sitting at home watching, oh, I like him, or I like what he's doing.
I had no idea that all of these you guys all existed, were on there, and all the stuff that you could watch on YouTube and find the videos of everything, and it was just like, oh my god! And it was also at a time where I probably had, I had spare money to be able to then pilot. I work from home now, so it's not like I have to buy petrol anymore. So all these things were saved, hundreds of pounds a month. So I just come buy on plastic shit, as my wife calls it. Fill the house with a lot of oil-based products.
Brilliant.
Going back to Shabby, you talking about selling that stuff and it not bothering you. It doesn't bother me to sell it if I'm turning around and putting it into that's what it did. Like if I'm selling off my the Motu Origins, and then I'm turning around and buying vintage. Now that money goes to anywhere else, and I'm not too happy.
Well, my wife was dead cool about that too. I mean, I've got to admit, our Jenny's a legend anyway, but she was like that. She wasn't expecting me to go, oh, well, I'll do this and this and this and this. Do you know what I mean? She just said, she was the one that actually said, if you buy the stuff you want, you know what I mean? I thought, oh, brilliant. Do you know what I mean? So I did do that, and that made me feel better as well, because usually there's things, going back to what we were talking about before, about these things that might be a bit too pricey for me. But when you've got spare money like that, you think, well, I might as well just get what I like then. So yeah, I agree with that, pal. I really do. Let's see your collection, Darren. You do what you want. I've always been the same when it comes to repos, custom stuff. I've always been it. You do what you do.
I'll never slack anyone. You collect what you want. Care what it is. If it's Barbies, you're not gonna hear anything from me. I mean, if that's what you like, do it.
I completely agree. Analog toys, usual mic, retro blaster, all problems for me. Bosca only one came later. I sent you all the problems. VTR, you were pretty early in my YouTube expert. Yeah, he was. Sire, stop making videos just to stop tempting you. Every time GeForce would go outside, be like, oh, I want that Megatron helmet. Oh, I want this. Oh, I want that. Every time. Well, awesome. There is your number 5. Let's get to number 4. First thing I'll say is I'm thoroughly enjoying this tonight. You're showing some awesome stuff, and your stuff's been brilliant. Right, Rob, you're first. What's your number 4, buddy?
Okay, so my number 4 is going to be like entertainment. So I'm going to go with video games and VHS. I have to get up and move a little bit. So Super Nintendo was a huge one.
Yeah.
That was so I don't have a lot of games for this yet, but I got the Star Wars games are the ones I had to pick up. I don't have Empire Strikes Back, but those games I played as a kid, I love those games. They were so
is that console different to ours, Darren? Was that because I remember Super Nintendo, but I don't remember it looking like that.
Yeah, that's the original.
Oh, am I wrong? Was that ever sold, that console? If anyone's in the chat, they'll probably tell me so, but I don't remember.
Was it not the right way around?
Different
the front.
There's the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it had this thing on the front
thing as well, wasn't it? No, that was it had like a Simon, someone will tell me in the chat. But yeah,
there's definitely different versions.
Yeah.
So and then so I picked this up a while back ago, but this is probably I got this for as a kid, obviously not this one, but so Nintendo, the original Nintendo was definitely a childhood. That was big part of the childhood. So the original.
Now that one I do remember. That's
Nintendo,
the one. That's
might
the
be
one.
a game in there. I don't know. Yeah. It's like Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt. So I did that. That we played this a lot. So that was. I remember getting that for Christmas. It must have been 88, 87, 88 for Christmas.
Around there, late 80s. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember we had the big wooden TV. You had the big screen tube TV with the wooden. VCR.
Do you know, Rob? I'd never seen a TV that big as a
TV.
Well, the first year I got to America in '99, I got a massive one. It was like a massive box. It took up half my life because it was huge, but it was a big box TV. And I thought, oh my life, this is because being from the north, I thought, no way. Oh, there's other games.
So you got the classic games, Super Mario 3, the classic, what was it? The little Nintendo cases, they came in.
Rambo, look at that. Oh, Reynolds says that's the Super Famicom. Right, okay. Was it sold in England, that one, Luke? What's that?
So this is funny because Matt was talking about this the other day on ZSR. I don't know if you can see that. Tiger Heli. This is I love playing this game. This was probably one of my favorite games. So I could probably do just a top 5 on Nintendo games. I'm not a gamer. I do not like video games, but original Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and maybe original PlayStation are the 3 I had and grew up with.
Yeah, Kat's put a comment in saying that in the UK ours there was a flap on the front. You put your cartridge, you opened it and put the cartridges in.
That was right. Yeah.
So
yeah, my friends.
Besides video games, man, it was all about VHS. I remember when I got this, man, I wore this thing out. Like I watched this nonstop.
Yeah.
So, and then
brilliant. I that's all I collect is when I collect VHSs, I collect The Indiana Jones, if I find them, all Star Wars. Nothing. I just got that Ewok Adventure one, which I'd never seen before. So yeah,
So
look at that, Raiders. Yeah.
What I did as a kid with the VHSs, I took the VHSs out. We had like the little thing they went in, and these went on my wall. I put a little sticky tack on the back, and I had a collage on my wall. Nothing but just.
Oh
the
wow,
movie.
fantastic!
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. But this movie right here, the reason I got this out is because we had this. I was in 8th grade when this movie came out, and I remember we had this kid in our class. We're small, I grew up small town, and he was kind of the trouble kid. Nobody messed with. Kind of, always dressed in dark. Wore nothing every day. Wore a Jim Morrison doors. So that's all he wore all the time. I mean, like the kid you didn't mess with. I remember seeing previews for this movie, thinking, "Oh, it kind of looks like a chick flick, right?" Like I don't know. And he went and watched it. He came back, and all he could do was tell us how awesome this movie was. And
I've never seen it. Do you know?
I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" I was like, "I'm not watching that." I rented it, went home, and that opening or that scene, he's riding up on that horse, and he pulls out that deer antler, and he gets that guy right. I was like, and my jaw hit the floor, and from there on, I was like, "This is the greatest movie." I couldn't believe it, but yeah. So VHSs were huge. I mean, I can remember going down to the local store and renting movies and
that was one of my best experiences. You didn't care about the year of the movie back then, was it? It was just you saw the title and you go with your mates and you talk about it, and then you just pick them up. It wasn't like, I mean, sometimes if a really nice modern movie came out, you wanted to get it, but it was. I think that's where our love for movies come from, wasn't it, boys? That you just walk into these sort of stores and it was whatever took your eye, wasn't it? And you thought, I like this.
Blockbuster. I almost got out. I worked at Blockbuster. I still have my Blockbuster card and my Blockbuster little badge with my name on it. I was going to bring those out, but I forgot. Yeah,
Martin did as well, didn't he? Martin worked for Blockbusters too. So that's great. 2 of you. But yeah, VHSs. Do you ever still pick them up, Darren? Do you do the VHS?
It's saying I'm going to completely retract now what I just said about never throwing anything away. I threw all my VHS away.
Oh. I had a huge collection, sold them all.
Yeah,
for pennies.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I just binned it all. And I've kept all my DVDs, but I got rid of all the cases. Again, it was just space. I just didn't have anywhere to put it. But I love going back to the consoles. I didn't have, so the first computer thing I got was an Amiga. So that would have been 1990.
Sensible Soccer? Was it Sensible Soccer?
No, I was at Kickoff. Kickoff 1, Kickoff 2. They were all named after Crystal Palace players. But my friends, so Spectrum, I'm always amazed with TES how long Spectrum went on. Spectrum for me was sort of 83, 84, 85. I don't remember it after that. Then my friends had Commodore 64 and the Sega Master System. That was playing Shinobi on that, or Altered Beast.
Say had the actual arcade Shinobi game in his house. The actual Shinobi game, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then with the SNES, a friend of mine, and he got one, and we would just play Street Fighter all the time on it.
Yeah,
loved. I had no idea what I was doing. I would just be sort of doing shit at it. And that was probably that one summer. What I've done with GCSE, so that would have been 91, 92 for a year playing that with him. And then when I went to uni, taking my Amiga with me. And we would have kickoff 2 tournaments in the student halls. That's what they say. Get all your mates around. I
mean, because I know we always give Tess a lot of shit every week. Me and I'll say so, but I find it fascinating. His passion for it and stuff like that for the old school game, and like what Rob. As soon as you talk about stuff like you got a big smile on your face, Rob, and you're like,
because I recognise the game. When he's doing the newer stuff, I'm like, I know that game, but I know it from a different console or different platform, and I just had no appreciation that Spectrum was still putting I thought we're still putting stuff out at that time.
It's funny how video games and movies can bring back memories just as much as toys. Like
100% agree.
My neighbor had this RC Pro-Am. I can remember playing this game for hours with him in his house and just playing it. Always felt like hours, but this game right here. Now I put it on. I'm like, I mean, They're more of nostalgia. I let my son play them. Like I don't really play video games.
Yeah.
Pretty much once they got to PlayStation 2 and they added the little thumb joysticks,
Yeah.
I was pretty much done. And I had a little
Yeah.
brother, and he just kicked the shit out of me in anything I
Yeah,
played.
yeah,
And I was like,
much
I'm not,
better. Yeah,
look,
I mean,
I'm not
I do it
play
on a Sunday with on TJCs, you know, and with our Cy and Georgie and Paps, whatever. And it's fun because to me, it reminds me of playing with my brothers when I was a kid on the Sunday. Because I'm not a gamer at all. I'm the same as you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll play it on a Sunday for a few hours, you know, and I enjoy doing it because it's like it reminds me of when I was a kid and playing it with my brothers and this kind of thing.
I know I've only done it once.
Right.
But that coming on TJC's channel when we were playing Battlefront,
yeah,
that was the best fun I had in months.
Yeah, it's just fun.
Playing that, I was awful. I was absolutely shite at it, but it was just so much fun. I'll do it again, but probably a lot of them I haven't got the game, so it's kind of like, you know. But
I know
watching you guys play and and it's sort of, but yeah, Battlefront, it's just so much fun.
Great, isn't it? And now you can tell I've never seen Braveheart either because I didn't know this fact about it. PGM played William Wallace in Braveheart. I never knew that. So thanks for that.
How can you not watch that film?
There's a little guy that runs on at the end.
Yeah,
you gotta watch. You've got to watch that movie.
You know, it's one of those movies and I've never got round to. Do you know when it was there and I was probably doing other things or working or this and that and you know I don't know.
Did you watch Rob Roy?
No, is that the one with Tim Roth? Never saw that either.
Yeah, Liam Neeson.
No.
Yeah, that is a really good movie too. Tim Roth is I don't use this word a lot, but he's a proper villain.
Yeah. He's the proper Nads, Rob. He's the proper Nads.
No, Mel Gibson in Braveheart's the proper Nads.
The proper Nads. Oh, so I said that to Rob. The proper Nads. I was like, I love it. What is that? The proper dance. Do you know what I mean? Movie night in the video store with the whole family. My favorite bit of Braveheart is when you spot one of Braveheart's army wearing a digital large screen.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Was he all worked for him? He lasted a week. Well done, was he?
You know, I don't know if y'all had this, but I can remember going to the little local video stores and them having a gumball machine. And if you got a certain color gumball, then you got a free rental. I always thought that was
really? Wow.
Yeah, that was always so cool.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily Blockbusters, was it? It was like off licenses. Darren would have.
Oh yeah,
your corner shop would have them and that kind of thing. Yeah,
we had mom and pop stores. Yeah,
yeah. Sometimes, I mean, I'm all for the the progression and changing stuff, but I'd love an old. But how many of us would actually go? We wouldn't.
Don't forget. I mean, the other thing is, when you went to either your small, you probably go to. You start off with the local one to see if they had the copy in.
Yeah.
But then you go. But remember, they would only have one or two.
Yeah.
You go to Blockbuster, they might have 10.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't get it. It's not like think about now where everybody just logs on to Now TV, Sky, or HBO, and they just go click. I'm just going to watch it. No.
Yeah.
We had to go down to the store. Yeah. And they probably didn't get it. That's why we ended up watching so many dodgy B movies because you couldn't get the one you wanted. And then you'd pick and watch all this other weird shit that you kind of like, oh my God, why was I watching this film?
You always thought you were important as well, didn't you? Because it was like when you were young, it was like your first form of ID for us in the UK, wasn't it? Your wallet out, your Velcro wallet, my card. Really? Or you'd shit yourself when you didn't take the video back and you're like, oh no, I owe about £3. Do you know what I mean? I'll stick you up for the £3.
Or you didn't rewind it? I thought you were going to rewind it. Now they charge you $1 because you didn't rewind it.
It's funny, I just got the an Ewok adventure on VHS. I just saw that on Marketplace.
Have you watched it yet?
No, I haven't watched it yet. That was always under the thing. But on it, it's got an FBI warning. And I was intrigued by that. As soon as you open it up, FBI warning, do not copy all this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, the reason, obviously, I have a VHS player. I don't have it hooked up. But the reason I like these is for the display factor. Like, it's not so much to watch them as much as if I have a shelf. And at some point, I would love to get into Indiana Jones figures and stuff. Well, so how awesome would that be to sit on your shelf in the background while you have your figures in front of it? You know, they're just really cool nostalgia, like display pieces.
Do you kids know what they are? Because I found a Beetlejuice soundtrack, a cassette in my shed, and it looks like brand new. So where it was stored in the shed, it must have been perfect. And Lucy had no idea at all. No idea at all. I'm like a cassette, and I'm trying to tell her, you put it in a tape and you press, and she's like, what the France?
I just remembered two things from when I was when my mum and my stepdad, I lived with them and went to see my dad. But so my Mum and my stepdad, when we got a video player, and this would have been late 80s,
Yeah.
we weren't allowed to become members of a video store because my stepdad didn't want anybody knowing that we had a video player, because he'd be like, no, they'll come and steal it. I was like, well, what's the point? What's the point?
I don't want them at number 15 knowing we've got one of these.
Yeah,
in the
I was all fucking.
Oh,
So we could only video
brilliant.
stuff off the TV. But I remember my dad, the first time we got, I don't know if anybody else remembers this, you could rent the video player, and it came in a suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
So the one near us, they lived in Guildford, you would rent it, and it would come in a yellow suitcase that you would sort of open up, plug it into your TV. And the first things that we watched were Gremlins and BMX Bandits. But you rented the video. You didn't just rent the VHS. You rented the video player for the weekend.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know, it's funny. I remember Nicole Kidman coming famous, and we were like, "That's a bird from BMX Bandits." Just
it's only one of those films that stood the test of time. Gremlins. You look at BMX Bandits.
Yeah,
now,
my son just watched Gremlins, and we just watched a movie I'd never seen before, Rad. My kids love it. My oldest daughter, who's 12, she loves that.
I watched Gremlins at Christmas. I remember a couple of years back, Lucy was only about 10, 11. She walked in straight on the kitchen scene, right? So I never said a word. So she sat down, and I'll never forget her face. Gremlin in the microwave, in the blender, and all that.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I'm just going to be quiet. And I thought, in a way, you know, I know a lot of people are like, oh, you shouldn't really, but we all watched this sort of stuff as kids. We all did, from Rambo, you know what I mean? And, you know, Gremlins.
RoboCop. What the heck were 8 and 9-year-old, 10-year-old kids doing watching RoboCop?
So I just let her watch it, and I'll never forget her face. It was priceless. Like, what the France have I just watched?
I think my parental... Oh, my parents' parental guidance during movies was this. Like, I can remember on Total Recall, the 3 boobs and my mom covered my eyes. Like,
yeah, like that. My grandma used to do it with me inside. Every time we'd start a movie, Beverly Hills Cop. That's one of our sides in the chats that he'll tell you this one. She'll put on Beverly Hills Cop, and as soon as the F word comes, nope, that's it. We're like, oh no, do you know what I mean?
Opening credits.
30 seconds in the movie, nope, back to snooker. Oh, all right, do you know what I mean? Still can't believe my dad backed me, Max. He was convinced it was going to win. Yeah, Spectrum is still going strong. Yeah. We used to own a couple of video stores. Oh, look at that, Mr. B. We used to own a couple of them. That's awesome, Mr. B. Betamax was technically superior. VHS was better branded. I remember Betamax, but we never had a Betamax. I remember my dad, though, getting this machine once that you could record on both sides. So he'd put the tape in, then he'd turn it over and tape on the other side. Me and Sam were like, what? It's like NASA.
What magic is this?
What magic is this? I feel bad for the Laserdisc. Yeah, but I love looking at Laserdisc.
Oh, yeah, Laserdisc mini CDs. Yeah,
those things were huge. Weren't the Laserdisc like this?
Yeah, album size basically. Oh, they're a bit bigger than album size, weren't they, Rob?
Yeah, I think they're probably about the same. Yeah.
The console Rob showed there was the NES, also known as the Famicom in Japan. The Super Famicom was known as the SNES, and I also worked everyone was there.
You could have a reunion of Blockbuster. There you go.
Yeah.
Some VH, yeah, they are. The segue to that is the same as video games. I watch some of these lads selling these video games for hundreds of dollars, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
For an 80s, 90s video game? Do you know what I mean? And some of them are worth a fortune.
People are grading VHSs. Like, you get the first edition that aren't open, they get them graded, and they're selling for big money.
Unbelievable. Iron Nanny Jane. Let's have a look. Few movies releases at the time. G-Force. Yeah. So there we go. Nanny Jane says Joe 23. I don't know what that is. Rob Roy's are far superior to Braveheart. Is he?
Ooh.
I've never
watched
good.
It, I don't know if it's superior.
But yeah, I think Braveheart's better on the action.
I'm kind of partial to Mel Gibson. He's Lethal Weapon.
I've always
one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of him. Never got round to it. The movie's out the best part of 25 years. Just one of those films. I've never just got to it at all. Braveheart still holds up. Brilliant. Right, Darren, what's your number 4?
So now I am going to go retro. Ooh. And as we were talking about them earlier, Jackhammer from Mask.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you showed that. See how professional we all three of us are tonight. Segues in and that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, there's was he Dagger? I think his name is. I couldn't find his master. He'll be upstairs somewhere. But yeah, I used to, and this was I've playing with this in the garden.
Yeah,
and burying it in soil, sort of with all the other ones, and then sort of really putting it through its places, playing with it properly. Even still got the gun on the side, but yeah, for me, I didn't have everything. The two I didn't have were Rhino and Switchblade, from the and Gator from like the first lot. But yeah, this for me was just kind of like, wow, it's kind of like a transformer, but it's kind of like a car, but it's got people. It's got. Yeah.
Did you get into this, Rob? Into Mask?
I didn't have Mask. I had one of my best friends who's still a really close friend of mine that his kids and my kids spent a lot. He had all the Mask. I mean, Boulder Hill, he had and that's all he had was Mask.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved Mask. Yeah, Reynolds turned around and says, "Oh, Daz, me and you are new best friends." Cliff Dagger with Jack Cameron talks, Mask. Yeah. And Rhino says, "I'm trying to start a collective Mask." I'll tell you what, Rhino, it is, isn't it? You're like,
yeah.
Every time I go to Joe Fest and Rob will contact, I always buy one of the mini vehicles. So the last 3 bikes I bought have been from Joe Fest complete, but it is tempting. I agree with you there, pal.
Yeah, I want to get
the rubber split on the tire a bit there, but yeah.
Oh, that's just played with. I'm all for character like that.
It still looks great.
Yeah.
Do you still look? Do you still look for this, Darren? Do you still look for Mask now and think, oh, maybe I should?
No, I mean, and stupidly, I've missed the boat because obviously now that the new stuff's coming back, obviously the price has gone. Yeah, it's silly again on them. I did see a Rhino at a toy fair, and I was tempted. I think it was in good nick. I think it was about 60 quid, which is fair price. Yeah, it's not horrific. But I hadn't really appreciated. I bought it for first. I got it for the first couple of years, and the first one I got was Condor. So that's the green
helicopter one.
Yeah, with Brad Turner, which I've still got and is on my bedside table. And that was the first one I got, and I originally lived in Derbyshire, in a place called Ilkeston, which the whole time I was there, I moved when I was 10. I had no idea it was about 10 miles from the Palatoy bloody factory. I was like,
well, 10 miles to you though, Darren, is probably, you know what I mean? It's 2 days. You know what I mean?
Let's get in the car and go to the factory and get the stuff. What's going on, man?
Your mum was like, 10 miles?
Yeah. And then we moved down south. So in 85, moved down south, and it was my first exams. And they said to me, if you got a good report, you could have a toy. And Condor was the thing I got. So that was my first introduction to Mask. And then I think I got Piranha, obviously Jackhammer, Thunderhawk, Vampire, and the beach buggy that opens up into the jet.
Was
that orange?
Yeah, the driver was, I think his name was Lopez. I've forgotten the name of the. Is it Dragon? It might be called Dragonfly. Luke will know what it is.
Yeah. No.
And again, I've still got them. So it wasn't really something I sort of, because I've kept the vintage stuff. Not necessarily felt the need to go back and get it, but yeah, the sort of Switchblade and Rhino would still be on my wanted list. And I think that with the new one, have they done VAC Metal? Firefly. There you go.
I think they did it for the convention. It was a lot more expensive, and I don't know whether they've gone back again. I kind of leaned off the new stuff when I saw the prices, but I think they changed it to VAC Metal as well. I'm not sure, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, but it was just, again, the scale wise.
Yeah,
if we were going on holiday, and we didn't go abroad, we were going on holiday. I could take a rucksack with my toys, so it would be some Star Wars figures. And I would always take, the Gamorrean Guard, Luke, Jedi with me, some Mask figures, a couple of Transformers because scale wise they weren't huge, so it was that easy to take them around and play. It was just, but yeah, playability with these was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny as well because we've asked for Mask to come back for years, haven't we? Like, we'd love to see Mask, and they have done a good job. I've got to admit, they've done an awesome job.
Yeah, they look good.
Yeah, they look fantastic. Keith says first.
Sorry.
No, go on, Rob.
I was just going to say, Max comes with like a lot of little parts, right? Like,
yeah,
I feel like to get those complete, you can miss bombs and guns and.
This is what I mean. I mean, when I get them at Joe Fest, I always make sure the guy says, "Yeah, it's got the missiles and it's got this." Because, like I say, trying to done that. I remember John sending me the Hurricane. You remember the T-bird with the flames on it?
I love that one. That is definitely on my the wish list. I love the color.
Super awesome sentiment, but it's got a few. He told me he's just had a spare one if you want it, Shabs, and then he said he's got a few things. So I look on eBay, and some of the prices for it, you're like, wow, just for the wheel, like extra wheel on the back or something, you're like, costs more than it would, to buy it new. Keith Knight says first VHS I ever watched was Zombies, Dawn of the Dead in the early '80s. Still love that film today. It's a cool
good movie.
I won't be watching that. My dad was the gadget king and constantly updated his TV and video players, much to my mum's dismay, as she was as technical as a and she just figured out how to use it. He just changed it really. I can't even use the Amazon. Drives my kids mental drives them. You know what I mean? They go, I always press the wrong button, it goes off, and they're like, Dad, do you know what I mean? I'm like, sorry. Let's see what else we got. Firefly with Julio Lopez. There you go. G4 says, I was thinking about this morning. We loved figures with no face paint. Mask, Battlestar, Star Wars even. There wasn't really much face paint on a Star Wars, wasn't there? It was like
very simple.
You know what I mean? But when did we get to pernickety? Yeah, it always makes me laugh that when I watch these streams and they're going about articulation and none of them taking them off the car. No, always. Well, I'm not really happy with that. Well, it's only got 20 parts of articulation. If you only do you open them? No.
No, I mean when they do the sort of the TVC stuff, and I watch. I don't necessarily comment because I'm sure I would get thrown out sometimes. But you look at sometimes you're like, well, from a certain angle it might look like the person, but yeah. So I'm with you. Given, and especially for the States, given that you've just had another price hike that we aren't getting. It's only unfortunately at the moment. It's thankfully it's only you guys. We haven't had it yet. But it's like, well, get rid of rocker ankles for some figures or something like. Or if you give me more detail, the paints need to be better on some stuff, but give me less articulation on some of the figures. Some figures need to have it. You want your Han Solo. Your top line.
The photography is pretty good. It's like I say, because even I open all my masters and stuff, it's fully articulated now, and I just stand them up.
Yes, right.
It's doing a pose. I'm like, oh, the articulation, and like that on it. You know what I mean? So brilliant. Anyway, let's get to number 3. Right, Darren, you're big. What's your number 3, buddy?
So my number 3 is the toy line that I turned my back on Star Wars for. It would have been 84, I think, maybe 83, probably 84. And then the town I lived in, the toy shop was called Guns.
Guns.
Guns, and it was a traditional toy shop, so it had bikes, prams. It would have pegboards upside, so the Star Wars figures were displayed on the pegboards all around the walls. But this new thing had come, this new thing that I'd bought the comic. We'd started watching the cartoons, and it was like, no, this was like blowing our minds as children.
Right, this better be good now, because you
I'm
just
on
told
pins and
everybody
needles here.
I know. Watch him gem. Yay!
It can be only one thing. So obviously that's a new event. So my first ever Transformer is, and it was an Insecticon, Bombshell.
Yeah.
So this was what I turned my back on for Star Wars. Was kind of like, this just absolutely was kind of like, what? You mean it's a robot, but it's a monster? Oh my God, no, but it gets better. Let's have a car that's a robot. Yeah, no, Wind Charger.
Wind Charger. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Wind
Yeah.
Charger.
So this was the first. So that was the first one I got, and this was the second one, and it was from that point onwards. It was like, wow, okay.
And the mini bots were, and like I said, I collected them all last year. I got most of them. Do you know what I mean? I just loved collecting. Yeah, and they were dirt cheap, the vintage ones to collect, and I thought this is brilliant. So
yeah, but no, I just loved. Yeah, and I mean, I know I've shown some. I've got the Masterpiece stuff. I've got so much Transformers stuff.
Yeah,
in my life that it was sort of, and that is one. Actually, saying about it, that I probably collected all the way through at various times.
I do with the 86 time. The Studio Series 86. I make sure I collect all of them. You know what I mean? So yeah.
But yeah, you end up sort of with. I'm trying to think. I've got one. I've got close to hand. But
the first one was Go Sidewinder. Yeah, the Sidewinder was. Is that the one you just got, Andy? Sidewinder? Was it the red Lamborghini?
No, that was, I think, Sideswipe.
That's Sideswipe.
Sideswipe, yeah. That was.
And then you end up with. This would be one of my favourite in terms of sort of going all the way up to Masterpiece, where they brought out sort of the cartoon. They got back to sort of the cartoon.
Brawn in it.
Aesthetic.
Hound. Bloody hell. Shabby was brilliant on Transformers tonight, isn't he?
Yeah, sorry.
Dave,
Dave. He's the Jeep. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I loved it was just so the whole thing. You had the cartoon, you had the comics, you had the figures, and just sort of the memories of being able to sort of go into the shop and my mum buying one of those was sort of like and
Transformers was awesome though, wasn't it? I mean, Rob, I can't think of a childhood without Transformers. You know what I mean? Even collecting
Transformers is great. My son loves Transformers.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
He loves it.
Yeah, that was one of the best things you bring in. Rob's son's only young. He's 8, isn't he, Rob? And he's been to Joel Fest. And he's got his dad's bought him this huge Transformer, and he's buying the block he wants. And it was so nice watching. He was showing me in Super Awesome how it does it, and so on. John's going, no, I can do it. I can, like proper kid. I know what I'm doing.
Do you know Triptychon?
Yep.
Yeah, he got Triptychon. He was very excited about that. Yeah.
My nephew is 7. 7. Yeah, I think it's 6, 7. And he has got into Transformers through the cartoons for him. And he went to see Transformers 1 last year, and he absolutely loved it. So when I see him, or when he comes to see me, I'm like showing him all my Transformers, and he's like, "Oh yeah, but I've got this one, and this is my Optimus Prime, this is my Grimlock." But it's so cool to be able to sort of talk to them about the characters that we had when we were young versus what they've got. That's brilliant. I love that.
It's brilliant, and it's just the way they look now, though, because it's like I say. I mean, I don't know if you've heard the rumor. A lot of people think I can't transform Transformers. You know what I mean? It's a rumor. But some of these
those, you can do the mini bots. Come on,
them I could kind of do. But I never.
These ones I watch videos. I'm watching the YouTube videos to do these bad boys.
Every time, Shabby can't do it. Shabby can't do it, and he got a new one, and he hadn't a clue how to do it. And they're hard now. I mean, evil. Yeah, it is an evil rumor. I agree. It's an evil rumor. It's an evil rumor. Transformers, right, Rob? What's your number 3, buddy?
Okay, so my number 3 is probably the figures that I remember having first. So it'll be Motu.
Yeah.
So
Clap Panther. Brilliant.
Yeah, he's in good nick.
He is,
really good condition. Yep. Yeah. I was getting them out and showing my son, and he has the Origins one, but he has the plastic one. He's like, "Dad, he's fluffy." He's like, "Yeah, that's how he came." But
he went, "It's flocked," and Jay.
Yeah.
He went, "How dare you!"
So by the time I got into Motu, I think I was a little late because obviously I had the vintage He-Man and the vintage Skeletor, but like my recollection of Skeletor and He-Man are the battle armor. So they don't work as great as they used to. Maybe it doesn't even work, but yeah, the battle armor, man, those were my He-Man and my Skeletor, and just that design of that battle armor, that just that purple and yellow or green. Yeah, those were so cool. So then Battle Cat. So I have funny story I was telling Shabby earlier. I had some Motus that I wanted to show, and I got them off of eBay. This kind of spurred me into ordering them and getting them. I've been wanting them for a while, but they're actually in the house. The post office guy dropped them off about 30 minutes ago. But anyway, so this is the Origins, my son's Battle Cat. So I got a lot. I got Panther and this Battle Cat together off of eBay, but he didn't come with the saddle. So for stand-in right now is my son's Origin one. But I got, the vintage He-Man. I have all their accessories, but I didn't dig them out. But so those are favorites, but this is probably my favorite.
Chapter.
Yes.
If I had to pick my favorite one, that's definitely my favorite. And then I got him with his little warrior ring.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Still glows in the dark, which is really
As a
cool.
kid, did you ever put the string through his hook? I never did.
Yeah.
I never knew until
I did do that. I think I remember seeing it on the commercial. I'm pretty sure they did that on the commercial. So what a weird gimmick, like having him sliding for a little hole on his head. But yeah, this was cool. I remember having this as a kid. It coming with I think it came with Triclops and it came with Trapjaw. But yeah, I remember wearing that little ring. I think eventually mine, it was Triclops. I remember mine eventually this little part just broke off that plastic.
Yeah. I mean, I've got to admit, this is a line that I love. Collecting Masters of the Universe, vintage and modern. I just love it. Yeah, look at that. Too Bad.
Yeah, Too Bad was one of my faves. So I can remember being a little kid, and we lived way out in the country, so it was a 20, 30 minute, 45-minute drive to the nearest town to get toys. But so at least once a month, we'd go into one of the towns and we'd eat Mexican food at El Chico's, and it was in a mall. And you walk out El Chico's inside the mall, and they had a Sears. Sears was right there. And then after we'd go eat dinner, I'd get to go and I'd pick out my Motu figures. And the two I ordered that are here, just not with me, was Grizzlor. The Horde. I must have been around the age with the Horde because I remember the Horde. That's what the ones on card that I remember getting. So Grizzlor, Montana, and Leech. Those were the big ones. Grizzlor was probably one of my favorites. I definitely remember him. And then Buzz Off. Like a lot of people slack Buzz Off, but I think he's cool. As a kid, man, with these wings and stuff, I thought
fantastic.
He was super cool. Just the bright and the colors on Motu were so cool.
It's one of the best things. It's like I say, if you can see behind me there, it's all there, and it's just boom. Do you know what I mean? The yellows, the reds, the greens, proper toys. Yeah.
Yeah, so Motu definitely my number 3. Because that's what I can remember having first as a kid, having Castle Grayskull. Never had a Snake Mountain, had Castle Grayskull. That's a Grail piece. That's a piece I would definitely want to get complete to the collection.
Yeah, it's just, and the nicest thing is one of the nicest things, Rob, about Motu is the fact that it's like Star Wars. It was mass produced. So when you say things like I need to get a saddle, you're going to get one. Do you know what I mean?
I do. I have one. It's in the house.
Yeah. This is what I mean. Were you into it, Darren? Masters of the Universe?
Oh, massively.
Yeah.
So my, I suppose my biggest ones would have been Transformers, Star Wars, Transformers, Mask, and I know I haven't picked a Motu one, but Masters of the Universe, and getting back into that now. So in the UK. I had no idea about the classics version that was, those toys. I'm not even sure they were over in the UK.
No, you could only get them off Mattel or Matty Creations at the time.
And the 2000 ones, well, was it 2000X or 200X? The X ones. Again, I've picked up some now, but as a kid, I didn't have Grayskull, but I made one out of a cardboard box, green paint and turrets and stuff. Awesome. Proper Blue Peter style, mate. Make one. I had the ones that but again, going back to sort of being an adult now, and what do we do when we go back to the vintage ones? Is I can go and buy the ones I didn't have. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have Trapjaw and that was absolutely one of my favorites. I've got him now. I didn't have Beastman. I've got him now. I didn't have Buzz Off. I've got him now. So I didn't have Ram Man. Ram Man doesn't even do much. All he does is pop. He doesn't. There's no articulation in Ram Man.
I love Ram Man.
I love that figure. Yeah, just pops. But for me, it does have it was a tough one. I nearly had them in, because it does have a really strong, all these things. The older ones have a strong emotional thing. And again, going back to my mum, God knows how she would buy the stuff that she would buy for me and my sister, but she did. We didn't have, we weren't, didn't have much at all. It was the early 80s, for goodness sakes. There wasn't a lot of money around.
Yeah.
But I remember coming back from my dad's and going up to my bedroom, and He-Man was on my bed. She bought He-Man for me. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, this is real. And then a month later, she did the same thing again, came up from my dad's, and she bought me Skeletor.
Wow.
So I had He-Man and Skeletor. And it was just made out. I remember a friend of mine up the road, he had loads. He had Castle Grayskull and all the other bits and, and everything. But I had Panther, I had Battle Cat. But I had, you say, Rob, about yours being the Battle Armor versions. Mine was a sort of, I guess, the first release of the normal chest armor ones. But it was such a.
It was awesome. It's funny as well because there's two adverts I remember as a kid. One of them was the Palatoy advert with the biker scouts going through your mum and dad's kitchen table.
Yeah, for your tables,
like that. I love that. And the second one was the He-Man, the Castle Grayskull, because they made it look awesome. He-Man. I remember the dad was towering over Castle Grayskull, and the way they filmed it, and it was all dead dark. I thought that's the coolest thing on earth. So Masters of the Universe is it was. My mum was the same. The toys I got, exactly right. Mums always did it though, didn't they? They got the best toys and whatever. But that was one of the things. And the nicest thing about the motive for me, I don't know whether it's the same for you, Rob, but it came at a time when Lucy got into it too. So I shared it with Lucy. Do you know what I mean? She's gone off it a bit now, whatever. She's 15. She's not bothered about Masters.
You were doing videos together, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we did. And that's one of the things.
I love those videos. I used to watch them all. I love those.
Yeah. It's funny how a 19-year-old and a 15-year-old don't want to make them with me anymore. It's funny. What do you mean you're going out? We've got
once you get a bit older and they're like, Dad, can we sell these? Once you start getting, they'll be like, no, Dad, it's your dementia. You sold them ages ago. You're like, no, I didn't. Where's this thing gone? But
it is funny though, isn't it, boys? How sometimes a toy line will come along that's modern, and you just fall in love with it because it just reminds you of, And I think these past 5 years is probably the best time to be a toy collector modern wise, because everything's come back. Retro collection, retro collection for Joe's, for Star Wars, for He-Man, for Ghostbusters. It's been absolutely brilliant. I've loved it. Anyway, we're nearly 2 hours in. Wow, this has been, honestly, I've loved this tonight. It's been absolutely brilliant. Let's get on with it. Here's your number twos. I've got pictures for you both on this one. So, Rob, I'm going to start with you. And I was intrigued with these pictures, but here's Rob's right here. So, what are these, Rob?
So that is a plaque. It's actually sitting right over there, but that's a plaque I got for Christmas in 1993. Right. So obviously it's Michael Jordan. Hopefully everybody in the UK.
Yeah, we all know who he is.
Okay. So that actually came with the team set. So it was six different individual players, but I was like, who wants these guys? It was for their, I think 91, 92, 93 championship season is what it says on the little plaque thing. So I took out all the other guys and I just put in a bunch of Michael Jordan cards that I had. And that hung on my wall probably for at least until I moved out of my parents' house when I was 18. So
you bought the actual thing like that, Rob? It came like that with the pictures.
I got that. My mom and dad got me that for Christmas. So it came with the picture and the inscriptions, and it came with the 6 cases, and each one had a player from the Bulls. So there was 6 different players, but I took them all out and just put my own cards that I wanted in there.
Yeah, it says on it 3P, 91 to 92 to 93 world champions, Michael Jordan, the greatest ever.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah. So I've had that ever since. So yeah. And then so these are cards I had from a kid. So that's obviously the 92 Dream Team.
Remember that.
I remember that. I do, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so these are all. So by let's see, I can remember getting my first sports cards would have been football and basketball in '89. So 9-10 years old, and still into toys, but man, football and sports were slowly taken over, and they would eventually just completely take over everything.
Can you imagine playing against them though, Robin? You can imagine being like, I don't know, Latvia, and you're like, what the France?
I still
you know
have
what I mean?
pictures from school. You take it, and I had all the Bulls gear. Every shirt I owned was Michael Jordan. I had Michael Jordan poster. Like, I was obsessed with the Bulls. The Bulls were everything. So at that time, the Bulls were winning championships and the Dallas Cowboys were winning championships. So, I mean, what a great time to be a 13, 14, 15-year-old kid. It was just
when I was going out to the States back in the 90s, it was, even everybody knew who the Bulls were. It was all about having I had a Bulls baseball cap.
Michael Jordan had his own restaurant in Chicago, and my family lives in Illinois. So one summer we went to his restaurant. Sadly, he was not there. My dreams were crushed, but we were going to his restaurant. I guess as a 15-year-old kid, I thought I was just going to walk in and meet Michael Jordan.
I watched the documentary on him last year. The big one was, I think it was Netflix or HBO.
The dance.
The thing about I don't know about Darren. I can't speak for Darren, but for me, I've always known who he was, but I've never seen. And watching that stuff, he reminded me of like a Messi over the simple. He made it look like easy. Like you can always tell a world-class player when it looks easy what they're doing. That's one of the things I always admired about Messi at football. He just made everybody else. And when I watched him play, like I said, I'm not a massive fan of basketball, but even I could understand, wow, look how good this guy actually is. Was he a massive thing when you were a kid then, Rob? Like, this was an idol of yours?
Massive. I don't think anybody was any bigger than that. And you just had your haters. Either you loved them, 90% of the people loved them, 10% of the people hated them, just because probably how successful and popular it was. Now, this set, those 6 cards on the top are a Nike set that I traded. I got from a good friend of mine who I'm still good friends with in junior high. So that was Spike Lee. That was I don't know if you remember those commercials. If y'all had those, we had them in America. It's the shoes. That was Michael Jordan Nike commercials with Spike Lee. So I think remember, Spike Lee played this Mars character or something.
Yeah, I think we did. But when we remember as well, football's massive for me. So we had Ian Wright and all that. Can we kick it? Do you remember those Nike adverts?
Oh, yeah.
So or the Brazil one in the airport. I love that for the World Cup. Do you know what I mean? It was all done by Nike. So, yeah, we did have a. I do remember the Spike Lee one. Excuse me.
I
kind of remember him, but I do know what you're talking about. So these are basically trump cards, Rob, right? And you would do the same thing as a kid that me and Darren would do with football stickers, or Panini stickers.
So we didn't have stickers though. I don't really remember stickers. So we had certain brands. So Pro Set was football, Upper Deck, Tops, Fleer. So these were all brands, Hoops, that all made like baseball cards. Like Topps has been around forever, right? That's probably one of the oldest. But yeah, Panini is big now. Like Panini, if you go buy cards now, a lot of them are made by the Panini brand.
Got you.
Is the current leader probably in sports cards. But,
yeah, it's funny that because when you go to a Dollar Tree, you always see a Panini American football, the NFL one with stickers.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, oh, I'd love him to do the our soccer one. But I mean, look at this team here: Charles Barkley, Larry Bird, Patrick Ewing, Michael Jordan, Karl Malone, Scottie Pippen. Wow, Darren, look at that.
Yeah. I can remember watching those games at home, like the Olympics. It was like the biggest thing. 1992 is the biggest thing.
Yeah,
it was big because there was a big sort of I don't know about how much it was sort of a bit of a hoo-ha about it, but of course it back then, I mean technically it still is now. The Olympics is supposed to be the height. You're not supposed to be professional.
That was the first pro team.
Yes. And it was kind of like, and they changed the rules and let them come in. I mean, these days it's kind of, well, how can you expect someone to dedicate that much time to be the top of their sport and not pay them to do it? It's kind of like, it just doesn't work.
They must have made a fortune of sponsorships or something, though.
That's right. Yeah. So I know it's gone by the wayside now, but I remember that being a big thing.
Because it was amateurs.
And I don't know if it was at the time, but obviously in years gone by, there's not many times that America get to play Russia, and ice hockey is one. And I think Russia have given them, have had sort of reasonable basketball teams in the past, but that was just massive news. And for years after, the other one I suppose would have been Dennis Rodman. It was a time when we might not have watched basketball in the UK, but we knew who the top players were.
Well, you knew who Rodman was because he was always in the news for other things, wasn't he?
Sadly, he never made an Olympic team. I don't think they would let him. But sometimes we were talking about sponsorship. There's I think it was on The Dance, but they were sponsored. The Olympic team was sponsored by Reebok, so they had like the American flag, like windbreaker thing that we used to wear, and it had a Reebok symbol on it. Well, Michael Jordan draped the American flag over the Reebok symbol so he wouldn't show it. His brand was Nike.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've seen some of his early sneakers. They go for thousands.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, Rob, what are these ones?
Quick story with this one right here. So these are just some Cowboy players that I grew up watching. But the one in the hard case right there, you can see it's autographed. It's a Troy Aikman one. So I got that, and that's a 1990 Fleer Troy Aikman. And my mom went to their training camp in Austin, Texas. And she was down there for a teaching convention. And she went there and she got that autographed by Troy Aikman. So she brought that home to me and I put it in that case. And so I've had that since 1990.
So sports was a big deal for you, Rob, when you were a kid.
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what, like I said, the toys got sold, and that's what I spent all my money on. Time. I mean, if you went to a friend's house, you brought all your cards over and you traded, and and that I put Bo Jackson up there because there was a time in 89, 90 where Bo Jackson was probably the biggest icon. He might have even been bigger than Michael Jordan.
Wow.
Bo Jackson was huge. He was all over TV, commercials. They had the whole slogan, Bo knows. I don't know if y'all knew, but he was a dual player, so he played baseball and football. He was very successful, but then he had a real bad hip injury in football. But
to be that talented, though, to do them both, do you know what I mean? Wow, man.
Yeah, a lot of people consider him the greatest professional athlete, at least in America, ever.
Yeah, these are awesome.
Just some basketball cards, but they were. And I collected basketball or sports cards all the way up till about I was 18, and then I got back into it around 2003, and then I kind of died off after a couple of years, and I haven't got back into it. But I still have a huge tub full of sports cards. So those meant a lot to me.
And I'm just jealous that your hobby collecting those space-wise. Just they're so you can just keep them and it doesn't take up all of this space around your house.
They don't take up any room at all.
No, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
No, I mean we had. I can remember. They said we had stickers. I can remember bubblegum cards and things like that you would sort of pick up. But it was never really. I don't remember sports cards.
And we didn't again. I said this a couple times. We didn't have the internet, so you didn't. So you either got you'd flip over the cards, and they would have fun facts about the players. I knew Michael Jeffrey Jordan. I knew his full name just because on the back. You would know where they went to college.
I know he played for North Carolina.
You did. Yeah.
I always see stuff for Jordan here. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously he played. Duke he played for, wasn't it? So, or was it UNC? I think it was North Carolina.
North Carolina,
North Carolina. Yeah, Tar Heels he played for.
G-Force went to summer camp and met him there. Wow.
Yeah, I can believe it. Yeah, went to a summer camp and 11th and met Jordan. More memorabilia my mum doesn't remember getting rid of. Yeah, Mr. B. Totally Taylor's is here. Good old Dean. He says, "Hey, all the Bulls were amazing. Space Jam was another great part of this era." Yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember that. It was a bit of the US flexing in its professional muscle. Yeah, but when you saw it, it's like I said, you knew these names. Like I said, it wasn't as if me and Darren watched basketball every week, but you knew these names. And you were like, it's like the dream team and all that, But what a team. Do you think that'll ever be beaten? I don't think it will it? That's like getting all the greatest footballers together and making a squad, isn't it, Darren? To tell you the truth, it's like.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, how could you ever replicate that again? Because it was just sort of it was America. I suppose if you put you could actually tell a lie. If you put the NFL, if American football went in as a team sport, then you could do it purely because it's such a big sport in the States for other countries to try and compete. I mean, the only thing it kind of sort of equates to golf. Golf did it a little bit as well, actually, when it was first introduced, and you got the big names came and played the Olympics for golf.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Yeah, they had the Ryder Cup. They just had that. It was where the English golfers play the American golfers, but they kick the shit out of the American golfers.
Yeah, we win.
So yeah,
Bit of trouble at the last one, wasn't there, as well?
now this next Olympics they have they put in flag football. Now there's a lot of speculation and rumors. Are they going to have professional NFL players playing this in flag football? And that could be interesting. If
that's it. That's what I was talking about.
Americans would romp home at that.
This is it. It says, "Have you watched?" That's the one. It's The Last Dance. It's called. I can't believe Scottie Pippen made absolutely nothing. Well, he made a lot, but because of his contract was for 10 years, and he signed it dead early in his career. And I was like, "Wow, man!" It was a really good one. Yeah. Does he compare to Beefy Both? I wouldn't put Michael Jordan or Paul Jackson with Beefy Both, who played for Scunthorpe. Oh, Des, that's brilliant. When did Beefy play? What kind of stats was he producing? Yeah, brilliant.
One of the greatest cricketers ever to live.
Yeah, I got to admit, yeah, he was. This is yours, Darren. The Falcon.
Yeah, so I've taken a theme here. So I've picked the Falcon, and then bombarded you with lots of versions of the Falcon that I have in my collection. So this is so this actually is the Galactic Heroes version. So that's right, came to forget. So this again, in a time when I'm collecting oddball Star Wars things. So again, this sort of super deformed idea. So I've got this and I've got the AT-AT actually of the same. But I got that one for my kids. So it wasn't for me, it was for my children who were like 4 or 5 at the time.
Even though it's in your display.
Even though it's in my display now, but obviously, at the time it was for them. This is the die cast from the 80s. So I had this and the Star Destroyer. And again, talking about being able to go and look back and buy retro again now, I have gone back now and bought more of the die cast. Obviously not the TIE bomber.
The greatest playset ever made.
Totally. This is my Millennium Falcon from the 80s. So I don't remember when I got it. But
that thing. I've got my complete one over there. And Rob, you've got to agree with Darren here. This thing is just...
Oh, it's amazing. Oh, amazing.
It's the greatest toy ever made, isn't it? It really is.
It's all beaten up. I've got all the bits somewhere in various bits. Oh, there you go, little lovely boxed one there.
Yeah, it is a classic.
But you say it is just that and the AT-AT for me are peak Star Wars, vintage Star Wars. And then there I've got the legacy version, which is just immense. I mean, I had no idea that even existed.
I don't think that'll ever be beaten, though. I mean, I think that the Palatoy, the original kind of one, that's the greatest toy of all time. I think going forward, Falcon-wise, it has to be something to beat this one, the legacy one.
Is that the one they called the BMF?
That's it.
Yeah.
Which I
and it's funny because the Galaxy's Edge one is this one, isn't it? It's the same mold. So
and so I bought that in lockdown, and I bought it, and then with loads of bits missing, and then bought the bits to then add on. So because it was, to try and buy that minty all complete was sort of hundreds of pounds. Beautiful. But and it's got lights and it's got sounds. Who knew Hasbro could do it? they can do it every now and again. Then that's the Power of the Force. And you know what? I got that 2 years ago from Sandown, and it was right at the end of the fair. And the guy, I don't even know he knew what he got with it. And I think I got it for about 30 quid box. Wow. And it's in there. It's all in there. Because I was telling him, it's like, it's the same mold, but they put some electronics on it. It's the 80s version. They just, when Power of the Force came back in the 90s, all of the vehicles, I think, pretty certain, were all just re-releases of the originals.
I think some of them as well still have the date on it too, because my Imperial Shuttle right there still says 1980 something on it, even though it's the 2000 thing, Attack of the Clones one, whatever it was. It came out in the 2000s. I think it was the same for this too. Some of them say 77 or 78 on them as well.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful. The Falcon, man. It is a great.
But
great
like I say, it's just superb. And then I think there's one of the photos in there that I've got the Echo right at the end. This was probably about 2 or 3 years ago. Here you go, this one.
Yeah, that's nice.
He just had the box, and I went up to him right at the end, and I said, "Oh, it's battered, but I put it into a display case, so it's it's not an acrylic one; it's just a normal plastic, clear plastic, so it doesn't get battered." And he didn't want to carry it back to his car, so he let me have it for I think it was £25 I paid for the box.
Can I ask you another question? Do you think there is anything better than the photography for kind of Star Wars as a kid?
Oh no,
nothing. And I for me, it's kind of like, I know this is going to get a bit sort of poncy about it, but it gets into an element of being art. For me, there's an appeal of like the card backs and the
100%.
thing. It's kind of like
I agree.
It just totally pulls those sort of nostalgia and seeing it, and it's kind of like, wow, that is just what I remember and that's probably one of the things I do love buying now from a vintage point of view, is buying the boxes. And I don't really I've got a few up at the moment, but and then displaying them as sort of as much as actually the vehicle that's inside it. But
I don't mind boxes being beat up though. Me and Luke Reynolds have had this conversation. I love character stuff like this. It's like I'm the only Star Wars cardback I've got the pills missing. It's all written. It's just one I asked the kid. So I framed it.
All out.
And I understand, a lot of people like the pristine and this and that, but I have no issue with boxes looking like this, because I just think it's character. You know what I mean? It's lived. Remember, we're talking about something that it's over 40 years old now. Look at it, and remember, these boxes as well weren't made for us lot to collect.
No, that's right. No, they were built to be thrown out. And I certainly don't have any boxes from when I probably had a few that I would have kept all of my toys in for a while, and then they just got battered and binned. But so that's something that I've certainly gone back to over the last sort of 5 years. Is being able to start pick them up.
If an unmade pen can be art, this is most definitely.
Top man, absolutely, Des. Yeah.
See, you said it's poncy, but everyone's agreeing with. Look, it is. Yeah, I John Lamples play Yin Yang Twin Salt Shake. Nice job. Well, let's see what the next photo is. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, a couple more of mine.
Even like that in that condition, it just blows me away how cool this thing is. Mine's doing it now. Mine's getting those yellow lines on it. The yellow lines, like the veins all the way through. I don't mind at all. I don't mind it that it's the plastics, because remember the Falcon is a piece of junk anyway.
Absolutely. I've got I think the only thing that I miss. I mean, I have got the radar. The only thing I've got missing is one of the struts for the drop down thing and the ball on the string. And I still remember my mum tying that on when I think I got it for my birthday, and I can remember my mum trying to tie that bloody ball on to the Falcon with a bit of string.
Well, that's all it was. It was just an old sewing ball on it or something, an old bead. That's all it was.
Bit of thing. How are we going to do that? Let's put a bit of string and put it on the end. But like you say, greatest playset. Talk about and the first one of the first things I ever displayed.
What do you think beats it? What do you think beats there? I can't think of anything that could. I don't know.
I can't think of anything that beats it, but I would put, Castle Grayskull might be something that's close in my opinion.
Definitely, I agree with that.
As far as a play set goes.
I would agree. Yeah, if you had to pick, I mean,
I would put that at number one for sure, though.
Transformers didn't really have anything like that.
Not play set.
Nothing like that. But it's like you said, I remember 10 years back making a video of it. Is it a playset or is it it's a playset, I think, the Falcon as well. I think that's one of the nicest things about what Joe did back then, Action Force, Star Wars, He-Man. They all made playset vehicles that you could, you know what I mean? I agree, Dario, that you can't beat the vintage Falcon. I in a way, I feel sorry for it, because I remember the guy before he died, Mark something, he made them all, didn't he? He did them all the way up to the legacy one, and what a career to have. But showing me. Yeah, I've still got, and I never knew that I've got loads of Falcon parts. If I've got a strut, I'll tell you if you want, because I've got a couple of old but one of them is by Tonka. And I never knew that Tonka had Star Wars lights and made the same mold Millennium Falcon, but it's the one with the lights on the back of it.
Hasbro owned them at a similar time. Were they? Was that right?
Must have been something like that. Yeah, but I was blown away. Tonka, do you know what I mean? But anyway, we're down to number 1. Yeah, it's been, we've had over 40 people practically all night. So thank you all so much for coming in and joining. It's been absolutely brilliant. But let's get to the number 1s. And thank you both as well. I can't believe we've done 2 hours, 20 minutes.
I know.
It's
crazy.
It's absolutely, I've loved it. Brilliant. So Rob, what's your number 1, buddy?
Okay, without a doubt, my number 1 is G.I. Joe. So you can see, I was going to bring them over here. So yeah, G.I. Joe to me was, I mean, that was everything. That as soon as, I don't know if it was the cartoon or what it was that got me into G.I. Joe, but I mean, Motu was gone, everything. It was just all about G.I. Joe. So Zartan was probably, I've said before, Zartan is probably my favorite. I would love to get a boxed one complete, but yeah, Zartan's my favorite. It was probably a toss up between Zartan and the Snowcat with Frostbite. Which one I had first, I can't really remember. But so the funny story with Zartan is if you know G.I. Joe, as I'm sure most people do, you know he came with this. So his little backpack came with a face, and you could put that on. It comes out of his backpack. So when I must have been either 4 or 5. I took this little mask and I stuck it up my nose. Don't ask me why a 4 or 5-year-old kid would do that, right? Well, I couldn't get it out, and I didn't want to say anything, and I left it there.
I didn't want to say anything.
I left it there probably for 3 or 4 or 5 days. Well, it started to swell, and I started complaining, and my mom, I remember my mom begging me to tell her what was wrong, and I told her, and I can still remember laying there as a 4 or 5-year-old kid, and my dad with tweezers pulling that. You would think maybe go to the emergency room. No, not country folk, man. He flashlight and tweezers. Oh, and I remember how bad that hurt, because by that time it had started to like actually kind of.
How long was it on there for?
4 or 5 days probably. Yeah, for a long time. Yeah, so that's my Zartan. That's my Zartan story, and yeah, I mean I can go. So quick pick. I remember going to a flea market with my mom and one of her friends when I was a little kid, and I got Quick Kick, and he didn't come on a card back. He didn't come with one of these. He was in a little plastic bag in the thrift store in the glass case, and I picked them out because I think that's all they had. And for the longest time, I thought Quick Kick was a knockoff. I didn't even.
It always makes me laugh in the cartoon that they're all in the snow and everyone's got the gear on.
Yeah, and he's barefooted. Yeah,
you know what I mean, barefoot. Yeah. Antarctica. It
wasn't until later that I learned. I learned that Quick Kick came. In a bag. He came carded, but he also came in a bag. So something I didn't know as a kid.
Now, over the recent years, you've gone all in on it. What's brought it back for you, Rob? That you've gone all in on these.
It just. I guess it was just probably time. I think I got satisfied for whatever reason. I think it was, I've said before, the 2015 nostalgia hit with The Force Awakens with Star Wars. So I went all in on Star Wars, and I finally got to a point to where Mutton Junkyard, where I was satisfied with Star Wars. And then I just wanted to get, move into G.I. Joe, and once I did, it's taken off.
It has, yeah.
So the cool thing about the Dreadnoks, they were some of my favorites. So my dad was a biker in the 80s. I mean, he's still a biker. Yeah. He's still, I
think I had a couple of those.
Shabby's seen pictures, but this looks like my dad.
You wait to see, honestly, Darren, you've got to see Rob's dad. He's the coolest guy on earth on these massive choppers and all that sort of stuff.
So, brilliant. That's the Dreadnoks always reminded me of my dad. So, yeah, and then Zorana, and I mean, these were so many. I mean, I could sit here for 2.5 hours.
Look at the condition of them as well, though, Rob.
Talk about Joe's. I can still remember getting muskrat. Like I remember my mom we went to Walmart, I picked muskrat up. I definitely remember him. There for a while for Easter Sundays or Easter, we used to get a Easter basket. You know, the Easter bunny came, and my mom would have GI Joes. I'd get a GI Joe in my Easter basket, so that was always cool. So we got these at Joe Fest, or I did. Shabby, you might remember these. So,
yeah.
So all these card backs. So let's see. I think I have one for hit and run. Yeah.
Is it important for you to get like make sure the crotch, because these are prone for breaking, like the thumbs go, don't they? The back of the heels go, the crotch goes.
Yeah. I definitely don't want broken ones. The elbows, they're real common right now for their elbows cracking. You know, if you just basically the plastic's just getting brittle. So if you just bend their arm up, it'll put a crack in their elbow right there.
Yeah, just he
actually has one. Yeah, but it doesn't. The cracked elbow doesn't bother me. Now I am almost complete with the 82 line, and as a kid I didn't have any 82s. I didn't get into Joe's probably till 86, maybe 87. So even the Joes, the later Joes, like this, you know, a lot of people kind of slack and stuff, but those are the Joes I grew up with. So, you know, you turn it around and you can see some of the ones. So this was probably like 89, 90. But the 82 version, man, they're just so cool. Those straight arms. And I almost have all those complete. I'm too short from having all of them, but yeah, I had them displayed, put up by themselves. Now they're notorious for their thumbs being broke. Yeah, you basically you cannot put their weapons in their hands, or those thumbs will break off. Yeah, Airtight was one of my favorite. People give him a lot of crap, but dude, I thought he was so cool.
I definitely had him.
Yeah, he's cool. He's cool in the cartoon. Like I love that yellow and the green, and any of them that had helmets, man. I thought the helmets, like, that's why I think I like the baddies or the bad guys so much. You know, they Cobra Eel, Cobra Viper. Actually I think I got both of these from Jeff Barker. Yeah, and then the good guys, Flint, Gung Ho. Now I have all their accessories, all mine are complete. I didn't want to dig out all their weapons and stuff like that. Gung Ho was, if they were in the cartoon, man, they were some of my favorites.
Yeah, that Flint I got, and what we were saying before about the acrylic case and putting the car back in with it. Andy got me the acrylic case and the car back, so I've got him displayed, that Flint. It's a really cool figure.
Little Roadblock, he was huge in the cartoon. He was a main character, so I really like Roadblock. Tunnel Rat, he was one of my favorites. Shout out to John and his brother. It always makes me think of him anytime I see Tunnel Rat now. Yeah, but so Tunnel Rat was in the movie, man. I loved the movie. I thought the movie was great. So yeah, any of the figures from the movie, I didn't have those as a kid, but now I have a bunch of them. So Buzzer and Barbecue's really cool. I liked him.
They're all in great condition too. Everyone, they're great.
So I had a best friend growing up, and he was a year younger than me, but we hung out all the time, and we always exchanged GI Joes. And he would get one. If he got a new one, it was almost like I got a new one. He'd run over, or I'd run over. Look what I got, and we always played together. But there was always two he would never trade. Like I would take one of his home and play with it, and he would take one of mine. But these two, he would never let me have. Crimson Guard, I never had. And the gold Destro, I guess he's the Iron Grenadier Destro.
Wow, with the cape, I never saw that.
Yeah, he has a gold sword that came. I think he came with a vehicle too, but I think I got him from Jeff Barker also. So picked up from Joe's from Jeff. So
George Jenkins says in the UK, Zartan came with a swamp skier and was never carded. The UK Zartan came with a
I don't think he wasn't. Yeah, so there's this swamp skier. I don't think I showed that, but
wow,
it comes with like a little box with a little tow rope thing that came with it. I think he only came boxed. I don't think he came carded. But they had the gimmick.
Go on.
Oh, they had the sister Zartan Zorana. They had the gimmick where you go out in the sun and they turn purple. So I did that with Bryce the other day. We wanted to make sure they still.
That's right. You put them in the fridge or something, did you? Something like
the sunlight. Yeah, the sunlight will make them change colors. Yeah.
Wow. Cool. My 6-inch Joe figures either had a Cobra symbol for the baddies or just the Joe logo on top of the card, but Zartan has just the Joe logo. Brilliant. Des T says, can you imagine the doctor shining a light up Rob's nose and a face like
I was looking for my Joe. I had my Joe here somewhere. I don't know where it went, but
So have they for the what would have been obviously for the 3.75 range.
Yeah.
Have Hasbro started to release new ones of that, or re-release, or
They stopped them.
Yeah, they did
have
a
they done?
few.
I guess what I'm saying,
Yeah.
have they done what they did with Star Wars with TVC? Have they done the same?
They started a couple
Because
of
I've
years
seen the
back,
6-inch ones.
Yeah.
They started doing the 3/4 inch, and that's what I thought brilliant. I can get into these now. And then
Yeah.
they stopped after about 10, 12 figures. Stopped.
Yeah.
Didn't do
No.
them. So yeah, that was it.
And
So
they did a crossover with Transformers where they made like Hound. They had a Triple T
Yeah,
Sergeant Slaughter with the Hound, and he came with Leatherneck and Sergeant Slaughter, and those are cool, man. They're cool figures and stuff, but for some reason I guess they don't want to do them.
That's what seems odd, because it's a brand. You know, we always talk about sort of the Disney tax or the Lucasfilm tax for Star Wars, but Hasbro own G.I. Joe, don't they? So there is no
weird, isn't it?
there's no license fee.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it'll be
and they own Transformers.
yeah, and from a profit, I mean, point of view, if they started doing the retro, a retro style GI Joe, I mean, people would be all over that, surely.
Yeah.
funny story, Rob. Similar story to me as my older brother was playing me up, so I pulled the flag off the Action Man half track and rammed it up his nose. When he pulled it out, the ball was gone at the end. He had to have removed it. I should have just sent him to Rob's dad's house. You know what I mean? Easy. My main John one was 82 to 86, says G-Force. Loved Airtight. That would have been one of us.
Nah, man, blood. There was lots of blood.
Yeah, rest in peace. I agree with that, buddy. These are in great condition. Yeah, I agree, Mr. B. Have you still got the original Zartan face? You should have had it. Zartan was originally a mail-away figure. Later, he came with a Snumps scheming box here. Right, so in both she's brilliant. And are you still pursuing it now? Is there any grails that you're after in your Joe collection, Rob?
Yeah, I've just started scratching the surface. Well, like I said, 82. I want to finish up 82, so I need Steelers, the only one I don't have, and the Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander. I don't have. As far as the figures go, there's some vehicles and stuff from 82 I still want to get, but as far as figures go, those are the only two that I'm missing.
Are you coming to Joe Fest next year, Rob? You'll be there, won't you, at Joe Fest?
I'm hoping so. My kid has a lot of travel volleyball games, and my other daughter has a lot of travel gymnastics. So we're going to Florida, Boston,
wow, everywhere.
Yeah. So last year we went to Vegas. So I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. If I come this year, I might be solo and I might fly.
Right, got you. Yeah. Perfect. Well, great stuff. Right, Darren, what's your number one?
So my number one is one character, but lots of versions of it. So this is a figure. I don't think it was my first Star Wars figure. I think the Death Star droid was my first one, but this would be like number 2 or number 3. And the card back, the figure, just holds such strong, vivid nostalgia, even though it is the only Star Wars figure that I ever traded. Right. I traded this figure for a Stormtrooper, and I got so much shit off my mum for doing it. She was like, "But you've got a Stormtrooper." But I need 2. I need more. This was me trying to army build in the 80s. No, my mum was like, "No, don't you dare." Brilliant. And I was fortunate enough that when moving down south, by sort of 85, 86, Star Wars figures were being sold in markets. Right. Yeah, they weren't in the shops anymore. Yeah. And I got Lando on card, Lando for Empire Strikes Back. I didn't have that one before. And they had this. So I was able to replace the figure that I had got rid of. And it's this little dude. R5D4. Yeah. I love it. I don't know what I mean. Don't be wrong. I mean, I love all the Star Wars figures, but this is just one that for me has had, sort of a real strong draw to. I can picture sort of the old toy displays where it would be sort of the figures were on a sort of metal carousel that you could turn around. Yeah. So they would have been in toy shops at the time, and I probably would have been I don't know. I suppose it probably would have been on a Star Wars card.
That's just
Yeah, no.
cute.
But yeah, I mean, I don't want to sort of. I mean, obviously, I thought I'd then show a Black Series version, a Power of the Force version, which was really weird because they put a rocket firing thing in it, and I don't quite understand that. TVC version,
wow,
of him. Galactic Hero. So this is in the 90s. They started doing the 12-inch dolls again.
Yeah.
So I went mad collecting all of those, and obviously got the 12-inch version. He's very yellowed now, but I think he looks a little bit like he's been on Tatooine with the sun.
Exactly right. Yeah. R5. I never would have thought that.
And then what have we got here? Oh yeah, carded Mandalorian. Version. The GameStop version.
Yeah, got that one.
Which I mean, I hunted him on eBay.
How did you get him? Yeah, because it was only at GameStop, wasn't it?
That's right. It wasn't over here. So and I got him. Oh, it's probably going to be about what would it be 10 years ago? When would they bring these out? 10 years ago, 4 years ago, 2017. Yeah, so 8 years ago. I got eBay. I think I managed to get him for about £35, which wasn't actually
that's not bad at all, because I think he was about 25 when he came out. So
yeah. So that was my, at the time, that was one of my grail pieces, was to sort of find. There was this one, and then when the foil version of Boba Fett came out a couple of years later, those were sort of like the two sort of grail pieces.
So what is it about R5 then, Darren? What is it about?
I don't know. I mean, it's sort of, he's only in it for. What does he do?
I bet you made up his back in the Mandalorian, aren't you?
I mean, he's got a huge backstory now. I mean, they've really fleshed him out. And he's been here, there, and everywhere. But in Star Wars, he's just there and blows up. But I think it was, this is the card back. So I've still got the card back of when it was.
File logo, look at that.
Yeah. Obviously, I cut out the whatever that would have been the name pill at the time, because there would have been offers. That's the thing. That's the only thing that's sort of really disappointing. I've got a lot of my cards still, but obviously they've all got the names cut out or the proof of purchase because for the mailaways.
Yeah, because in America you did the General Mills sign or the backdrop on it, the circle, but we had to cut out the pill.
Proof of purchase.
Yeah, we had to cut out the pills on ours. So
and look, there you go. Look. BOE.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
How iconic is that? Look at that.
Yeah.
Hours of him just staring in your bed where you're looking at that at night.
Yeah, I mean, I've got so many, where I've got tick, 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 tick. Well, got one more. I mean, this is actually, I haven't got all of one, actually. I think it's only got 70 on. But yeah, it was just, as I say, it was just a strong connection between one of the earliest figures I can remember getting. The card back, I get, they're not stupid when they pick the colors. They go, right, what are kids going to respond to? Primary colors, we're going to pick reds, blues, yellow, secondary colors, orange, that, like you say, pop, that we are drawn to them. It's sort of like, oh, that looks amazing. And it's just sort of, wanting to sort of keep going with them. And
fine. You see, a lot of people keep saying to me, "Oh, Shabby, you should do a top 5 of Star Wars figures." Or I remember Andy once saying, "What's your top?" None. They're all the same. I don't think there's a bad Star Wars figure. I honestly don't. Do you know what I mean? It's like when people say, "What's your favorite Star Wars movie?" And you're like, "Well, you kind of, you're not going to turn one of them off if it's not number one. You're going to watch them all." So.
Yeah, Des is asking about what the card stock's like. It's better than the stuff you get now.
No, much better. For sure. Yeah. I still don't think you have as many R5s as Stu, Darren. He probably hasn't opened a few yet either. Oh, and Mr. B says there's actually an R5 with Rocket Boosters in the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
There you go.
And there'll be another set of toys because if he's in the movie next year as well.
Oh, he will be, definitely. Yeah. You need the vintage red bar R5 variant for your collection, says VTR.
That one's money.
There's a different thing on the front, isn't it? I think with the
little bar. You see the bars on the side. The little one is red or something. But don't worry, VTR said he'll get it you for Christmas.
So, okay, cool. Thanks. But and again, it was they clicked, didn't they? When you turn the heads around and stuff. That was like again, as a kid, I think I used to have them on my fingers. I'd have a R2 on the fingers and messing around with them. But
100% staring at the car back, says Wizzy pamphlets. I did that for years. Unbelievable. Yeah. I just want to go back to here as well for Rob. Sorry, in other words, right here. Cobra Eels were the best G.I. Joe figure. Do you concur, Rob?
They were good. They were good.
The Battle Action 4 Storm Shadow comic series was awesome, right? And Copperhead was a close second for me. What would you say? Well, let me ask you a question. You showed your R5 and you showed your Joes. Would you say both of these has that? No, I mean, for me, my number one figure of all of them, if I had to get rid of all my toys right now, I'd keep my Return of the Jedi Luke. That's what I'd keep. I just loved that figure as a kid. But I wouldn't actually say it was just my favorite toy, not necessarily my favorite Star Wars figure. But do you have a favorite Star Wars figure and a favorite Joe figure?
I don't know if I have a favorite. I have ones that probably mean more to me than others. But I don't know if I have
I'd say,
favorite.
Yeah, I mean, it's one that means a lot just because it was sort of one of the first. But, in terms of figures that were better, the Imperial Gunner, I've got him. That's an awesome figure.
I've just got him, Jeff. I just bought it off Jeff. This is what we're saying at the start, and I've never had that figure ever, so I can't believe he's on his way. So one
of my favourites was a Manaman.
Never had it. Never had a Manaman.
Who's going to be? We've seen him in the trailer. He's going to be in the Mandalorian movie next year, and he looks terrifying. I mean, coming out of the water with the teeth and everything.
See, I'm all for the fan service. When people say Star Wars has to be different, does it bollocks? Yeah. It has to have the fan service to me. It has to. Do you know what I mean? That's what brings out the kids in all of us. When you see stuff like that. Well, anyway,
there's definitely ones that the Luke Hoff actually. I think that as an Empire figure, that's a really good with the sort of the snow gear. That's a really good
Rebel Commando. I always liked him with the beige gun. He came with like a beige gun, and do you know what I mean? It's like I said, I can't pick a favorite Star Wars figure. They all, you'll pick one, and then someone will say, "Oh, what about the Biker Scout?" Oh, yeah. Oh, what about Darth
Biker Scout would be a close. That is one again that I've got lots of versions of. So the hot toy, going all the way up through to having that hot toy version of a Biker Scout. That is, and the helmet. Which have you actually opened it yet, Shabby? Or have you still got your helmet? But is it still in its
I've opened all my helmets except for that one. And right, I've got to keep my voice on because my wife's sitting there. I pissed and moaned about that Pakistan.
I know you did. Yes.
I just moaned and eventually got it, and I still haven't opened it. It's still down there. I'll open it, but you know what it's like though, boys, when you get a room like this and it starts getting, my room's getting changed next week, so I'm going to try and do it all again, and then I think I will open it. But I'm a sucker for stuff. I've stopped doing stuff. I went to Joe Fest and bought the McFarlane Batmobile 89 one with the figure. I don't even collect multi, but I bought it, and it's been sat down there under that table since I bought it. So just weird. But anyway, there is Rob and Darren's top 5. Talking about films and stuff like that on Wednesday. Me and Si are doing this.
Oh,
Si are going through all the Star Wars trailers on Wednesday.
Nice,
awesome.
Because regardless whether you like the movies or not, it's nice always to look back at the trailers over the simple reason the movie wasn't out yet. So all you had was the trailer to look at and have a look. So me and Si are doing that at 8 o'clock English time. So it'll be 4 o'clock over here. So 4 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Indian that we're going to do that. Do you have anything you want to talk about before we go?
I think I'm all talked out.
You're talking.
This has been brilliant.
It's been a lot of fun.
With 20 minutes or 3 hours, it's just the longest one I've ever done. But honestly, it feels like 10 minutes.
I mean, the people in the chat might have been bored shitless, but I've really
they haven't gone anywhere. No one's gone, so I think they've enjoyed it. So here we go. My first Palatoy action was a 3 Star Wars Stormtroopers I got in the 80s at John Menzies in John Menzies. Thank you, Martin. Thank you. As a graphic designer by school, and I've always been attracted to the overall design of a figure. It will strike you personally. There's something about toys. I think it's our generation, isn't it? There's just something about figures and toys that we've always loved. Awesome top 5 guys, as they always are. See you all on Wednesday for the Star Wars trailers team. Cheers, pal. Cheers, Mr. B. Cheers, Kieran. This is awesome. Great pics and stories. Fun from all the chat. Nice one, Shabby. Take care. Great. Everyone's loving it. Everyone's absolutely brilliant. Look at this. Fantastic. So there you have it. Please like, please subscribe. We have a Patreon if you'd like to join that. Helps the channel grow so I can do live streams like this. But apart from on that, thank you, Rob. Thank you, Darren. It's been brilliant. Say goodnight,
Thanks,
lads.
Shabby. Thanks,
Take
Rob.
care.
Thanks, guys. Good night, guys.